store.
This Halloween, when you stock up on Pepsi and Doritos, you'll find coupons for savings on Hershey's candies. It's the perfect recipe for a...
Wicked.
Here's something to howl about. This week at Purity Supermarkets, specially marked Pepsi-Cola 2 liters are just 89 cents.
A ghost! Only a Fruity Pebbles can set my spirit free!
My Fruity Pebbles? Okay.
Frighteningly fruity flavors! Thanks, Fred.
Bonnie!
Boo.
Yeah!
Bon appetit!
Post Fruity Pebbles cereal, part of this complete breakfast.
Do you have a tail, or is that your hair in the back?
あ、ほら髪の毛と下に尻尾があります。
Hair and a tail. Wow. The best of both worlds.
わあ、Thank you! 私の髪の毛と尻尾はとっても自慢の髪の毛と尻尾なんです。ありがとうございます。
Yeah, it really such a unique little character. It's mesmerizing. So anyway, I forgot the question.
Your children and your children's children will be subjugated! They will be asked, have you been a good little Nazi? Hail Fauci!
Perhaps you remember your first edible. The recount to take us off the air tonight, that is our broadcast.
Okay. And how do you feel about that? Okay.
Gentlemen.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
Living in America. There's nothing wrong. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm out on love. Out on love. Alone from night to night, you find me.
Concerned about that?
No, Dageshan. I'm concerned because there's nothing wrong.
And what are you going to say to your fans when they ask you some...
I'm going to say I feel good. Papa's got a brand new bag. It's a man's world.
What you're going to be doing on this tour?
Jam.
Source, there you are.
And we'll be doing a lot of good things, and hopefully we'll get Brother Ted Turner on the cover. Ted, where you at? Hasta luego.
こんにちは。ボンバットファミリーと私たちのライブ放送へようこそ。私たちはあなたの視聴とリスニングの喜びのための素晴らしいショーを持っています。今あなたのホストスコッティ・ジェイロとジェリー・ケーブルにステイ・ボンバードを楽しんで覚えておいてください。
Welcome to the Bombadcast.
I feel good. Papa's got a brand new bag. It's a man's world. Jam. How we doing tonight, fam? Hope everyone's doing okay. Very excited to be here. I've got two wonderful people joining me. Before we get to those wonderful people and to see me get panicked and freaked out live on stream, which will happen, I almost guarantee it, because I am kind of a softie when it comes to getting creepy. I don't do it often, but these two weirdos I'm with today do it often on like very unhealthy levels. Anyway, Bombadcast every Thursday. You've got us right here. I'm so happy that I'm here this Thursday. Last Thursday had some stuff go down, but we're good this time. And I'm glad to be here with the people that I'm joining every week, every Thursday, live. Yes, of course. Next week, we also got something coming up that I'll let Gerry plug later. But come on, join us. Be with us. Come on, gang. You want to be here. Saturday, oh my gosh. This Saturday, too. Gerry has a Hyperfocus. And if you don't know what that is, that's when Gerry gets people from the Star Wars content creating world or content creators in general and talks about what they are interested in. This Saturday, he's got the amazing one and only Kelly Knox. I am so flippin' excited. I may even call in. I may. For real. I don't think I've called in Hyperfocus in a long time. So this might be the time. I did not do one last night. I deeply apologize to people that wanted to see it, but Bombad Gaming every Wednesday, 8 Central Standard Time, 7 Mountain Time, which we don't talk about enough. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. We do have some stuff coming up with Bombad Gaming that I'm excited to discuss and look at and analyze and talk about. That's what we have here. Patreon, if you haven't enjoyed it yet, my God, Katie's even here. Patreon, oh my God, $7 a month or set your own price. Do what you want. Gerry and I have actually been putting a lot more work into this. Jerry's got an exclusive read or a read along, I guess you could call it, tomorrow called, is there a graphic for it? Yeah, there it is. No, there isn't. I don't see one. Maybe it's, hold on. Nope, I don't see one. Oh, yes, we do. Where's Cannon Junkie Corner at, Gerry? Did you move the graphic or did you get rid of the graphic? I think you got rid of the graphic. I can't hear you talk, obviously, dude. Just
I deleted it.
Oh, okay, that's fine. All right. Yeah, so Cannon Junkie Corner is a lot like...
creepy, right? When you can't find the clip.
So it's a lot like this. And Gerry, of course, has... of course, his wonderful skill of reading, and he will read to you stories. I will be recording about 5 hours of this to drop for the Patreons every week. Some Joseph Campbell breakdowns with a couple of good friends, Gerry including Jared the Dark Jedi. Well, that's the right thing. I may even see if Boop wants to get on this or Boop's lovely partner, John. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll also have Alden Diaz, Nikki Kumar, and the wonderful Nick Milkey joining us for this as well. But I want to break out some Joseph Campbell lectures and discussions and clips and relate to Star Wars. But all that being said, I got to bring in my wonderful co-host, the one and only, my sweetest friend, Gerry, that Cannon Junkie Cable. Gerry, I'm going to play a clip to lead you in. Are you ready, Gerry? Hey, mate. Actually, that clip doesn't look like it's here anymore. Oh, I'll just play this.
Gerry!
What's up,
so
buddy?
that clip should be there, but
I don't
yeah,
see it.
we had to make room for some things here. Let me see. I thought I saw it. Hey, mate.
Hey, mate. Who invited you here?
I was looking for the Tim clips, and I forgot that one was where it was.
Okay. No, you're good.
Anyway,
you're good.
Anyway, I'm so happy to be here. I'm gonna get freaked out. I'm looking forward to it. I might have to get up and go pee as well at some point during this, just to be honest with y'all.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a.
We can take an Andy Warhol intermission if we have to.
Oh, we might. Okay. I can tell you this much. Oh, an Andy Warhol intermission. That's pretty
good.
Or
you know, like imagine there's no pizza break if we need to.
Yeah.
You know, that
I'm excited.
Depends on how long you need. We get 4 to 7 minutes.
We do. So, we're gonna be good. I can't wait.
It's gonna be great.
The beard is strong with Gerry. Let's see that beard, Gerry. Go closer to the camera.
Let's look at this. It's even, you know,
nice. That October beard, man.
Yeah.
No grace.
It's gonna get only. It's only gonna get longer.
Gerry's almost 50 years old, and he still has no gray hair. It's very impressive.
I pick them out whenever I see them. Of course,
Gerry's closer to Pete's age than he is to my age, which is great.
That's weird.
No, it's not. That's not the case.
Listen, we're ready. We're ready tonight. Looks, yeah. See, okay. I'm all about what we're talking about tonight. We're gonna just do my camera like that. I'm professional.
I'm wheelchair bound. Imagine if no one knew that Gerry was bound to a wheelchair.
Come on, you never know. No one knew. Like I just never mention it.
Sorry, that's mean.
I'm like FDR, like during
no one knew it.
No one knew until after World
Gerry's
War II.
disabled.
He couldn't stand up. He would have them brace his legs.
What movie is that from? Where he does stand up? Is that Pearl Harbor? Is that the movie I'm thinking of? Where it's like it's a brutal scene. He's like I got it. He's like trying to stand up. That's just gonna be Gerry. Oh, we're making fun of disabled. This is gonna go great.
This is we're already down the rails. But no, so we have something very, very special planned. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and bring in
your cryptid,
my wonderful partner in crime, my sibling. You know them, you love them, the one and only Boopenheim.
Hey mate, who invited you here?
Yeah, who did?
Hello there.
Boop, boop, boop,
I am
boop,
here.
boop, boop,
Yes.
boop, boop. Wow, you want to be in a Bombad sandwich? There you go.
I don't like the way that sounds, but you know what? I'm here now.
Yeah, no, we all.
Hey,
we
as
all
long
are in
as
a
you're not
Bombad
from
sandwich
Biloxi, Mississippi.
constantly.
As long as you're not from Biloxi, Mississippi. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's a deep cut.
No offense to our Biloxi listeners, watchers, whatever you are.
Oh,
yeah,
nice place.
This is great. This is going
This is
great.
a great place.
Oh, one of my students. Hey kiddos. Hey kiddos.
Children.
How you doing?
Children. Listen,
Guys.
I am not above scaring some little children shitless like we can do.
I
You know,
know.
that's one of the fun things of even being a parent. You know, like Eleanor, we were playing hide and go seek, I hid from her while she went to her room, was coming back around the couch, and went rah, and she loves it. She loves it. It's great. She really does love it. But
that's good.
Yeah, it's one of the great joys of life is scaring children. So bring it on. That's what I say.
I'm excited.
But anyway,
I want to get scared.
Well,
I want to get scared.
Beyond Bombad, we had some people go, what's Beyond Bombad? Beyond Bombad is something that we started back when we were with Beyond the Blast Stores. It was Beyond, and it was for Patreon of that channel,
Speaking
our channel
of,
at the time.
Andy.
Yes. Hey, speaking of one of
old
our
creative
fellow,
partners.
one of our creative partners, one of the veterans,
good friend
of Beyond the Blast Stores.
Look at this. By the way, most of the people in this chat are going to be at my wedding in like 6 months.
Yeah,
so let's think about that. Literally, all
Just
these
your guest
people
list.
So
are
many
all invited. But that being
It's just your
said,
guest list.
I'm happy that our Beyond Bombad is the plant-based Bombad. It is.
Meat
That's
right
it.
here.
It is. It's Book of Boca Fett.
We're gonna eat.
Yeah,
we're gonna
absolutely.
eat Boop. Sorry, y'all.
Yes.
That's what this is for.
You trying to gain my power?
We're gonna kill him and eat him. That's it. But ready for real. So why are we doing this? Give us some more information, Gerry, and especially between you and Boop, because y'all have a fascination with certain things, and maybe recap what we've done in the past as well.
Yeah. Well, so like I was saying, we started this as like a little throwaway thing we were going to do for Patreon. We talked about the Kelly Hopkinsville Goblin encounter in that, which is kind of an alien encounter, but a weird one, kind of weird off. And again, so that one, I don't know how if we're ever going to be able to have access to that ever again.
Yeah. I have the file. I have the file.
You have the file? Okay, well maybe we can drop. Maybe we can drop that later this month or something.
I'll look for it.
But yeah. So then last year, we decided that was our first year. Last year we decided let's do that again for Halloween. And we picked. Let's see, what did I pick? I picked the topic of the real Men in Black. And threw in just a dash of Black-Eyed Children because I really like to traumatize Scotty with the whole.
I almost said F you.
Tulpas are the most horrifying.
I literally almost said the F word to you right now on stream. God, I almost did it. I'm home alone.
Oh, you thought of them, didn't you? Don't think about them.
I'm
Don't
home
think
alone.
about them.
I'm literally home alone.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's not do this.
We got to take.
I
We got
will
to
play
take it easy
guitar.
on Scotty right now. We got to take it easy on Scotty right now, because we got to save. We got to save some of that energy for here in a minute. But no, but this year, I was like, who better to get involved with this than my sib from another nib, my wonderful, wonderful friend Boop, who again, like you said, we're both freaking weirdos and we love this shit. So,
Oh yeah, y'all are fascinated. Y'all are fascinated.
Very
with
big, and like we've both had even encounter like our own like experiences of different things. Nothing to the extent of anything we've talked about on this show.
Yeah.
Nothing quite profound well that I know of. I can't speak for Boop, but we are going to be talking about the experiences that we've had at the end of the month on our Halloween show, like the show right before. I forget. It's the last show of October.
Last show of October.
When Scotty is rocking out with Paul
Kiss.
on the boat. Yeah, I think you guys are leaving together, right? Like you're gonna like
He said we should walk this time, and I said we'd never done this in the past, and I don't plan on walking to California because he walked to Anaheim. I don't know if you knew that, but Paul walked from Baton Rouge.
Yeah, no, he started
to Anaheim.
He started in like March.
He started in mid-March. He walked all the way there. It was quite a trek. He said he met a lot of fun people on the way.
Of course,
did a lot of ayahuasca, which is only found in South America. So I don't know in what way.
I think you took a little bit of a turn
in
Albuquerque or something.
I think he drove a portion of it, but he won't tell me how and what way.
Right. Well,
let your body be your car, man. Like
fill it up with gasoline.
Whatever. Taco Bell, right?
Diesel fuel.
Put compressed air in it.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that Paul had his Forrest Gump-esque
it was a trek. He told me about it. So he started walking. He started walking really cool. Last week. So I don't know. It's coming up soon. But anyway, I'm excited to see what you have for me tonight because last year I got freaked out. The year before I got interested. I like UFO stuff.
Okay.
I do not like because last year we talked about the Men in Black, and if you can go back and listen,
which it's tertiary too.
Oh yeah, it's very tertiary. But like there's certain other things that like I told Jerry this in private. My exact words were I don't mess with demonic shit. It's the exact word I said because I don't. I don't welcome dark energy into my life when I don't have to. And I genuinely believe some things that people discuss with a fascination end up manifesting that in their reality. Like the black eyed children. Like if I really fixate on that, like you never know. You know, like that's something that and I know Jerry does. And I welcome UFO stuff. I have deep interest in that. But when it comes to like certain things, y'all told me this story is more stuck to one place. So I was down to talk about that because I find, you know, like the Myrtles in Baton Rouge. It's a very famous haunted plantation down here. And literally like there's like slave children ghosts that like are on the premise of the place and you can capture them in photos. Like that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, that doesn't mess me up that bad because that's rooted in history. And I'm very eager to see this because this sounds like a Vecna level kind of thing for the most part.
Honestly,
no idea
he mentioned that to me, Boop, when I was trying to calm him down and say, look, it's, you know, and a lot of people will call this demonic, but it doesn't read as demonic to me. I'm not sure on Boop's
when I say demonic, that means like seance level, like trying to summon a demon, a dark energy.
Oh no,
this could be that. I don't know. That's the fun of this. You're gonna see me react live to whatever we end up hearing today, which I'm very excited. Look at this. My student says I'm the most beautiful Bombad boyo around. Thank you, kiddo.
Aww.
I appreciate it, bud. I appreciate it. But anyway,
I had a conversation with Meg and Andy. Go check my Twitter.
Hold on,
I got screenshots.
I have to say one thing before we get started. Let me pull up this big. Okay, for those that don't know, William won. He entered in I think $120 to Potathon. This is a 13-year-old doing this. He had money that he could spend for Potathon. William was lucky enough to win 2 things. I want to give him a shout out right now. And I think he's going to tell his parents that it was a Bombad giveaway. I don't know. Let me take these headphones off real quick. Look what William won, Boop. Hold on. I got this package in my house that was 5 feet tall. I'm like, what could be in this package? Here we go.
It was 5 feet tall?
That's as tall as Reagan.
Yeah.
You see what's in my hands? That's a $300 lightsaber that Hasbro sent to William for winning the Grand Potathon prize. If we knew that it was the dark saber, I think more people would have entered. And I'm not kidding. I think we would have had more donations because he won this.
It was just billed as a Hasbro thing, right? Like
yes, we didn't know what it was. We had no idea what it was going to be.
That's
incredible,
absolutely wild.
William, do not. And for my other students watching, I am not choosing. I'm not choosing favorites. I had no control. You can go back and watch the stream.
It was automatically chosen.
Giveaway.
Yeah.
Last giveaway. Yeah, it is badass, Andy. I agree. But anyway, let's hear your story. This is the first time in a while where I'm not in control of anything, and I get to sit back and literally just hear this play out. I'm so excited. So for anyone that's scared or gets scared easily, this may be your time to have a good evening because
I
don't know.
Yeah, well, no, you're not too far off. We were going to put some disclaimers. There is some stuff in this that if you don't like any kind of scary stuff at all, like if you're not into that, period, Like you can't even do like the historical ghosts or like Stranger Things or anything like that. It'd be a good time to back out. And we won't judge you or anything. We'll just call you chicken behind your back. It'll be fine.
No, Gerry.
No, we won't do that. We won't do that.
There's no shame in needing to take away a moment.
Absolutely, but there are some things, and Boop, I don't know, like what we've got. There are several things that happen in this story that are fairly intense. You know, if you're just we'll warn you before some of these things come up. But there are also at the very end of the show now, Boop, we've got something special, don't we? What do we have at the very end of the show?
Did we decide which was at the very end? Because I don't remember. Was it the recording? Or was it the visual aid?
Oh no, the visual aid's going to come in the middle of the story. We have visual aids.
Oh, okay. We do have visual aids. I think that's what Connor has. That's a joke that Gerry made.
The most of them are just listen. The most of them, yeah, that's what I said earlier.
It was very funny.
The most of them are just so you get an idea of the location. It's location type photos and just different kind of things like that.
It's a nice house, man.
There is one that we will warn some people on. But it's not anything. It's not what you think. It'll be fine. I just love Scotty's like sweat already.
Y'all don't see me get nervous. No one sees me get nervous. Like not even my students. Like I don't get nervous in front of people. And it's only when things are like entirely out of my control and things I'm not aware of are happening. Like I can handle stress situations fine.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like, you're going to sit down and you're going to have to react to this. Like when Michael did the Jedi Prince series, I had the same level of like, all right, I'm bracing for it, you know?
Yeah. And we'll do a 3, 2, 1, like a shot in the arm. Like they're, you know, like I said, there's no shame.
We're gonna joke about this shit and stuff, but like, you know, like if you've seen last podcast on the left, we're not gonna copy them, but it's gonna be like hard stuff with you know, scary stuff with humor thrown all through and everything. So
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Well, just to start us out, and I don't know how you want to do this, Boop, going back and forth, everything. I'm just gonna start out real quick and read a little bit about, at least just give an introduction to the topic tonight. Tonight we're talking about the Sallie house. The Sallie house is a house in Atchison, Kansas, which is actually the birthplace. Is it the birthplace and the hometown of Amelia Earhart? Right? Yes. So interesting town. It's got a lot of stuff going on there. Amelia Earhart's from there, and also it has this house. You can go to this house. You can contact their Board of Tourism and go and hang out and spend the night in this house if you want to. They welcome it all the time. No one stays in it now. It's pretty much just for tours and everything. But as haunted houses go, you can stay the night in a lot of them, and you may not really experience anything. Frankly, if you go to a lot of these things, you may get like an EVP or something, you know, on a voice recorder, like some quiet little. It sounds like someone's saying, "Are they saying cream of mushroom soup? Is that what they're saying on the cream of mushroom soup?"
Spaghetti.
That's the kind, and I mean, not even that. That's on a good night. Like if you go to these things multiple times, but if you just go to one or something, like, you know, it's like, okay, haunted houses, whatever.
Yeah.
It has been said though, the Sallie house never disappoints.
Oh, Jesus.
It never disappoints. And actually, I just watched a Boop sent me BuzzFeed Unsolved, right? Where they went to this place, and they even got something on. And again, you can be a skeptic, you know, whatever you want to say, like, oh, they staged this kind of stuff. But they had some interesting things, like things with a flashlight, which again is the stuff you can like, oh, whatever. They were talking to a flashlight, and when it came on, it was an interesting time that it came on, and that's all I'll say right now. But something else about this kind of house. So there's something in this house. Some say like kind of a, there's something I think human to this a little bit, right, Boop? It seems like there are some human spirits, but it also seems like there might be something a little inhuman going along with this.
I am a believer that energy is the most prevalent thing in hauntings and stuff. Yes, dear.
So I'll do that often. When you say, like, obviously, energies are something that you can always consider to be like a negative or a positive thing. And I'm a deep believer in like energy never dies. Like truly, I know physics it doesn't, but I mean the human spirit and everything behind it. Is this? I actually this might give anything away. If it does, don't answer it. But is this believed to be like a previous person that resided here, or is this to be believed this is like an unwanted energy coming into that zone, that realm?
Little column A, little column B.
Okay, so it's kind of like a what's it called? When two things cross in like a spiritual plane. I'll think of it in a second. This is kind of like a
I believe they call that
touching
docket.
tips.
Say it again.
Touching tips.
No, that's what we do.
No.
Oh,
right. My bad.
Fingertips. We're like ET and Elliot.
What did you mean? Yeah.
Let me think. Is this like I'll think of it. It'll come to me.
You weren't far off with your your Vecna thing. It's not like we said. It's not far off. Like,
okay.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But again, very spiritual things going on in this place. So let me go ahead and take a little bit more pressure off you, Scotty.
Yeah.
Whatever is in this house in Atchison, Kansas, and actually we have a picture of the house. We have the visual aids.
You pull it up, and I'll go back to the borders whenever you want me to.
Okay, all right. Look at we're pros at this, guys. Okay, but right here, this is the house in Atchison, Kansas. This is the Sallie house, a little unassuming thing. It was built. Was it the late 1800s, Boop? Why don't you? I think you have a little bit more of the history down of the actual house.
Don't put that on me. Yes, I believe it was built in the late 1800s by a doctor and his wife. The whole doctor thing will come up later, obviously. It's been in that house. That house has been in that family for, I believe, 4 generations. Wow. Until Les. Remind me of his last name, Jerry.
Les Smith. Les Smith. The current, we think current owner of the property.
He's still the owner. It is kind of up for sale though at the moment. If we feel like getting into real estate,
I saw that for $1 million. I think you can buy this haunted house. So if you want to buy it again, this is you're paying for a lot of ghosts and something else possibly. So it's pretty expensive. But again, just a nice little assuming, non-assuming place.
Yeah, at a private practice kind of medical office right up at the front of the house. The house was actually flipped at the turn of the century. The back of the house seems to be the front of the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So and then
that tends to happen to houses. For some reason, they build the streets on the other side and they switch them. I guess so.
Yeah, it's all in industry whatnot. But yeah.
So you were saying the medical thing or whatever, like maybe should we maybe talk a little bit about that, because it kind of can feed into, I think, what we're talking about here. Possibly?
I think it would add some good context. So C.C. Finney is the patriarch of the family. He is the doctor. So a lot of people in town come to him for medical advice. Emergency surgeries sometimes. Unfortunately, that is necessary in the 1800s.
And he gives haircuts too, because they did that back then, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so. A barber surgeon can give you a sick fade and an appendectomy, man. It's convenient.
One-stop shop.
Exactly. Yeah. So one night, C.C. Finney, I keep wanting to say C.C. Tensley, which is completely different. MC? Yeah. Oh, wait. You're right. It is. No. MC is the one that built the house. It's CC that's the doctor.
Oh, right. Okay. This got you. Yes. It's the next generation.
There's a lot of C's. I'm pretty sure there's a Charles in there.
People just named their kids, random collections of letters back then, kids. I'm just kidding. No, it was more than that.
Like Skeet Nut.
Please no. Yeah.
Which is your legal name.
Absolutely.
So
I told you that, Boop.
It's excellent. It's an excellent nickname.
Skeet Nut.
Yeah. So one night,
Christian name.
C.C. Finney, the doctor, is at home with his wife. It's like really late at night, if you believe the legend. A family that lives down the street brings their daughter in, who is in a lot of pain, having a a lot of stomach issues. Like she has an intense fever. And so the doctor's like, hey, I can see if I can do an appendectomy. And it puts her on the operating table, does not wait for the anesthesia to kick in before he cuts her open.
Oh, Jesus.
And the little girl, unfortunately, dies from a great amount of pain, and also
from living in the 1800s.
Exactly. It was fatal at that point.
Yeah.
Like you didn't go to a hospital to get treatment. You went to a hospital to die, essentially, in the 1800s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that little girl, if you believe the legend, which there are logs to back this up, there's a lot of history behind it. That little girl's name was Sallie. But skeptics would have you say, that's a little bit too convenient. But whatever you believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Narratively, it fits pretty good and everything. So you got that kind of, that history, right? Like in this place again, it's was built in the 1800s. It's over 100 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Like in time. So in the, again, was it the 70s it becomes a rent house, or is it it's the 80s, right?
Does it go? Do people live in it up until then? Do y'all know the residency or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay.
It goes to. So MC Finney is the one that built
Stays
it.
in the
It goes
family
to
for a long
his
time.
son and daughter-in-law, and then it goes to his grandson and daughter-in-law, and then a cousin, and then a boarder lives there. There's a lot of people that come and go in this house. Like there is a lot of foot traffic, and it's hard to keep up with. But yes,
Sure.
eventually it does come. It becomes a boarding house first, and then it becomes a rental property. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I think there's like, if I remember right, there's one lady who lives in there for almost like 30 years.
Yes.
Right. Like I think she was the first renter, if I remember right.
Yeah, she was the next door neighbor, and then she moved into that house.
Right. She dies, and then I think were there a couple families there? There was at least one family in there before the family that we will be talking about tonight. The Pickmans moved in.
Kind of.
And an interesting thing about this family is the daughter. They had a daughter, and she had, while she was there, an imaginary friend that she would play with.
Okay.
And I watched a few like old episodes from the 90s of Sightings, a show that we had, and they talked to actually the mother, and she said that there would be things that would happen, and she would say, I didn't do that, Sallie did that, or Sallie told me to do that. But her best, that was her imaginary friend's name, was Sallie.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And so so we got this little kind of like a little girl doing kind of whatever, and something interesting about that, and I think this might be a good time to tell it too, for a little corroboration of the story. So Tony Pickman, who is the father who most of this activity centers around, is actually a little bit of an artist, like a little bit, he's pretty good with a pencil and sculpting and things like that. But he saw this little girl and drew a picture of what he saw. Yeah. And that girl, when she was older, saw the picture and was like, oh, that was my friend. That was my imaginary friend. So interesting kind of set of like, people who don't know each other, like kind of seeing things later on down the line. And things like that do happen, like things like kind of click into place and all of that.
Yeah, the name Sallie comes up quite a bit in this story.
Of course.
Throughout the history of Atchison in general, really.
So we've got, let's see. So these people live in there, right? And then on December 31st in 1992, Tony and Deborah Pickman, the heroes of our story, move in. And Deborah is with child, I believe.
That's
right?
recent.
And then like,
yeah.
Okay, this is what I wasn't expecting this.
Uh-huh.
I thought this was something that would happen. That would have happened.
It's
in
a lot
the 50s
scarier
or
the closer
60s.
it is, isn't it? This is when I went to see
Freaky.
Jurassic Park, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were
These
all
people are
either alive or about to be alive at this point.
Mhm.
About to be alive. Yeah.
Listen, I was 6 years old, living my best life. I was 5 at that time, 6 when I went to see Jurassic Park the next year. A lot of this stuff continues into the next year.
Is that what?
What did he say?
Jesus Christ!
Oh, what the hell, man?
What
It's a
website?
family show.
Oh my god. Scotty getting scammed.
So they move into this rental house and everything, and they have the baby either right after they get there or right. It's kind of fuzzy. I think it is, like you said, January when the baby's born.
Yeah, they move in December, and I believe, Taylor is born in January.
Okay. We got people disturbed already. Scotty, is that one of your students right
Yeah,
here?
it's one of my kiddos.
Baby, we ain't even there yet. It ramps
Listen,
up.
this
So,
is if
to
this is
track
doing
it,
it for you, just wait.
If you're just joining, a young lady named Sallie died in the house in the late 1800s because she had a botched surgery. And then they had gone through different owners. So at the time, one child claimed that they had a friend named Sallie in that same exact house where it's named after. Now a new resident has moved in and it's 1991,
1992.
Okay.
It's actually December 31st, 1992 when they move in. So this essentially takes
93.
place in 1993.
Yeah.
So listen, here's the backdrop. I told Scotty this is very cinematic, all that kind of stuff, and it is like, honestly, this would make like a great like.
Have they tried making a movie about this or anything? Do
People have tried making it, but it's never been anything like big budget.
Let me ask y'all this:
I want Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan needs this.
Yes,
Mike Flanagan, who did Haunting of Hill House, and Bly Manor, and yes, he needs to do this.
Do you think there is any roots to the character of Vecna in this story?
No.
Okay.
It's not. So when I say that, it's just interesting that you brought up that kind of
that kind of haunt,
that kind of almost inhuman entity, which he actually spoilers for
Stranger Things 4.
Yeah. Anyway,
excellent show.
Right, it's fun.
Perfect.
So things started very innocuously, like when they were in there, like they said they started having like lights randomly dimming, things like that. The dog they would have times where the dog would just be staring into the nursery, growling and everything. And like, it's always when your cat is looking like in a corner of the room that you or like your dog or your kid or whatever, because that does happen. You wonder if it's stuff like this, but the dog sensed something and was like, he didn't like being there. The newborn baby would be kept up constantly through the night, more so than usual, as if someone was, as they said, this is a quote, as if someone was playing with him.
Ooh.
Yeah. Nope.
I'm gonna get Obi in here to calm me down.
You're good. You're good.
Obi.
You're good. But yeah, no, it's like little haunted house stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think Scotty can still hear us, but like one interesting thing I thought in the interview that we were listening to from, again, we took a lot from the podcast Astonishing Legends. They do a 4-part series on this whole thing that it's very deep dive and very like, if you don't like the minutia of all this, you're probably not like, listen to the first episode and you're good.
Yeah.
Or even like the middle of the first episode. But it is like they investigate, they get in, they have experts on to talk about that, like, and not paranormal experts. They have like experts in like, like radio technology, this kind of stuff, like, things that make sense.
Yeah.
They want, and the reason they talked to the people, right, who experienced this, Tony and Deborah, because they wanted to dispel a lot of the rumors. There are a lot of rumors that go along with this house.
Sure.
Frankly, because a lot of weird shit happened here.
Yeah.
A lot of bad shit. Okay, so a neighbor, here's the thing too. So Tony actually said he's sometimes like the ceiling fan would spin on its own, like just whatever, and said that the little pull chain, it's like sometimes it would like be like bouncing, like someone was standing underneath it, like flicking. Something.
Cool.
And here's something interesting about talking about the baby not being able to sleep in the nursery, which a lot of activity centers at this nursery. Okay, the room that the nursery is in is fraught with activity.
Yeah. To this day,
a neighbor to this day, that's like one of the hot spots. That and like the master bedroom closet. It's like the gateways in Poltergeist and stuff, frankly.
Exactly.
So a neighbor could actually see the nursery window from like her house. And one time, apparently, Deborah said this in this interview. One time she asked if why she kept the light on all night.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't. Deb always went in and stepped it. She didn't. She never did.
Yeah.
Tony would hear footsteps running up and down the stairs all night. And they had cats, as well. They had dogs and a dog and I think a cat or two or whatever.
I think they had two cats.
They had animals. Right.
Oh.
And because they were saying they thought it was the cats. And if you have cats, you know, they just run. At 3 in the morning, they're like, now is time for me to run my half marathon. Here we go. And so they thought it was them running up and down the stairs all night and stuff. Okay. One night, Tony's like, I'm going to stop this. And he goes, hides at the top of the stairs, is about to jump. And we actually have a picture of the stairs here. Come to think of it. Here you go. There's a picture of the stairwell.
Nice
it's like actually right at the front door. So as you walk in the front door here, this stairway is kind of off to your left right there.
Yeah. Okay.
And I believe that's the master bedroom at the top. I believe.
Okay, right. Oh, I don't know, actually. Yeah. You're probably right. I actually don't know the layout of the rooms up there. But anyway, so we've got Tony, okay, we'll keep it on here while I tell this, okay? So they would hear footsteps running up and down this, like, you know, it was small enough they thought it was the cat, right? Running up and down constantly. Tony hides up there, I'm guessing kind of off to the side right there. He's going to grab the cat, one of the cats, you know, and like put him in the room or whatever to like, hey, calm down, you know?
Yeah.
Like say, like, come on, dude, get off the catnip. The footsteps reach the top of the stairs and there's no cat. Just a wind whooshes by him.
Yep.
And you hear little kid laughter, which probably sounded a lot like this. Yeah, he said he just went to bed, slid back in, and just like tried to forget the whole thing.
Now wait. When it comes to this sort of thing, just because I want to think about it, were they? I guess maybe they were alarmed. Does it feel like an unwelcomed spirit at this point? Do y'all think, or do you think it's a whimsical child just being a child?
I think it hasn't gotten intense yet.
Okay. So
this is all still just the tertiary, like
noises and moments and things like
exactly.
that. That's
stuff
fair.
in every house.
Yeah.
But shit is about to get real. Let me take a sip there. But so okay. Let me try to think. What was I going to say? We've got running up the stairs. What was I going to say? I was going to say anyway.
I believe next is the teddy bear incident.
The teddy bear incident, yes. I was trying to think like my God. Okay, ADHD is a hell of a drug, kids. Watch yourselves. Oh, dude, it's insane. Like it's like being. This is the same feeling of being on a roller coaster. Getting scared is the same feeling of being on a roller coaster. It's the adrenaline rush. It's the same thing. So all this just weird, innocuous stuff would just constantly be going on. Children's laughter, things like that, you know. And I remember what I was going to say. Deb. So you got Tony and Deb. They're married again. Like, you know, they have their son there with them. Apparently the baby can't sleep. They thought it was the new baby getting acclimated to, you know, being out of the womb and everything. But it continued. It kept going and going every night. Deb actually for a long time didn't really believe. She either tried to rationalize things or whatever, but she kind of like a lot of the main activity, again, like I said, was happening to Tony, and Deb was kind of like a little bit skeptical for a while. So he was kind of alone through a couple of things. Well, at least one thing.
Yeah.
That is it's something you don't want to have your partner being like, I think you're hallucinating.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that. But on July 14th, 1993, speaking of the teddy bear incident, Tony, Deborah, and her sister Karen.
This is 6 months after they moved in the child.
Yeah, 6 months after they move in. So things have been slowly building up. What you hear in these stories, it slowly builds up, and even, you know, it escalates and just it spins out of control in some situations and things like that. Anyway, Deborah's sister Karen had come to help them with the baby, I think, I forget how long, but she before the 14th, but she had been there like sleeping with the kid downstairs, like in like a room or like in the living room with her, like had him in a bassinet with her so they could get some sleep and have a little bit of a break. Okay, because I mean it's been months that this kid he hardly sleeps.
Yeah.
They finally like get him back up to his room. I think they went and like hung out at their like Deb's parents' house or whatever. And then they're gonna have like a night of being grown-ups. And I think maybe I'm guessing they didn't really say this in the interview. I'm guessing the kid was at the grandparents' house, and they were gonna like rent a scary movie. It was like the last night her sister was gonna be in town, correct? I believe, yeah. But anyway, so they got a scary movie. We're gonna watch a movie and just kind of like be grown-ups. So they get to the house. Tony goes upstairs to put away the baby, like carrier and things like that. Different things. Maybe the baby was there. I don't know. Anyway, he notices that the stuffed animals that were in the room, and I think people say it was all the stuffed animals. He kept saying 3. Yeah. So we're gonna go on that right now. So 3 stuffed animals from the room, and it gets, again, they kind of, the way they talk about it, it's like, people want it to be like this giant thing, whatever. Sure. So 3 stuffed animals were sitting right in the middle of the room in a circle, basically touching hands, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, that's weird. So he called, Deborah and Karen up to the room. They're like, oh, that is weird, so they put the stuffed animals back, turn off the light, go back downstairs and watch the movie. As soon as they got to the bottom of the stairs, they heard click. The light was back on. They went back upstairs. The animals were in the circle again. It wasn't even 30 seconds. They turned off the light, walked down the stairs, got to the bottom of the stairs. They said they were creeping up the stairs like the Scooby-Doo gang. To see what was going on. Imagine yourself there,
Don't want to.
Right. But see how cinematic that sounds like a movie, right? Like, it sounds like something that's like, but this is their testimony, like they're like actual from a really good interview. Again, very
very well done.
Very well done. So they go, okay. They thought one of them was pranking the other. And actually, Tony's brother lived in one of the houses next door, which is why they moved to this one. They thought, well, maybe he's playing a trick on us. They looked for wires. They're looking for vents, any possible thing.
Yeah.
That could, but again, they said these stuffed animals were like at different points in the room too. They weren't like just kind of all together, so they could fall and randomly land there twice and turn the light on.
Yeah.
So they put them back and went downstairs. They watched the movie, and about 15 minutes later, Deb said she went back up there to get something or do something, and looked in there, and one of the bears was down on the floor again. Only one this time. It was almost like, stop messing with my stuff.
Yeah,
is what it felt like. So she called them back up there. They were like freaking out, and apparently, what they said, they took the VCR, the TV, the baby, the couch cushions, like everything, into their master bedroom and stayed in there all night because they were like, well, we'll all just stay in this one room. We'll not go out.
Yeah.
That way it won't get us, because they were like a little freaked out at that. Which I mean, the first I would be very freaked out.
Me too.
They were like in the circle. To have the thing that gets me is, again, the you walk down the stairs, click, and here we go. We're off to the races. Okay. So his brother was actually, this is another thing that I thought was, and Boop, I don't know if like you caught this part or whatever, but I forgot that he said his brother came over the next day, who's a little more logical, right?
Yeah.
And he had I guess a camera he was taking pictures with, and they set a bear on the table. They set a bear on the table, and he was trying, so he said, okay, move the bear like you did last night. And apparently, according to them, the bear spun around real quick, like when he said that, to face them or something, or face whatever.
No, sir.
He got, and apparently he got a picture of the bear in motion. I, again, haven't seen the picture.
Okay, I thought you were going to show me the picture of the.
No.
Jesus.
That would be no. I would be like pissing my pants at that point.
Yeah.
And by the way, I see Patrick back there in the room. Like I see, so I just want to make sure. My cat scared the shit out of me one time when we were doing this. Let's see here. Yeah, Boop, I don't know if there's anything you want to bring up. I don't want to dominate this whole thing. Like, if there's anything you want to bring up at this point. So we're past the teddy bear incident.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of little things happening right now.
I don't remember if it was before or after, but there was a point where Tony and Deborah were looking for the remote for their TV.
Yes.
Like it got lost somewhere, as things do. And Tony was taking a nap on the couch, and he just
Deb was in the shower too, right? She said.
Yes, she takes a lot of showers in the story. I was startled by that. Very clean woman.
Very clean woman. Yes.
But yeah, he's taking a nap on he's taking a nap on the couch, and he feels a thunk on his chest, and a little voice says, "Here's your remote."
Yeah, here's your remote.
And then he wakes up, and there's the remote on his chest, and he talks to Deb after she gets out of the shower, and he's like, "Hey, you found it?" She was like, "No, what do you mean? Like, I was looking for it just like you." So, I guess useful ghosts.
He thought it was that's the thing. Like, he heard this voice. Apparently, that's the thing that got me is they said, "Here's your remote," and they even said, "Here's your remote, Tony."
Yes, that's right.
That's your name.
Man.
Like, and he thought it was his wife. So, like, it's your brain tries to rationalize stuff.
Of course,
what. Like,
of course,
it's when it sees something it can't understand, it will try to go through the files and say,
"Of course,
it's this thing."
What could it be?
Okay, so another little thing too. This is what I'm saying. Cinematic. This is all cinematic stuff. I've seen this stuff in horror movies. One time, Tony was walking by the nursery. He looked in there and kind of saw that the mobile above the crib was doing like a little like kind of spinning slowly.
Yeah,
and he kind of peeked his head in. Because it was, it's like noticeable, and as he watched, it got faster and faster and faster and faster. The longer he watched, it just got faster, and then just stopped. And
for me.
Well, I think he just walked away. Walked away.
Yeah.
I'm done. Let me see here. Oh, here's another thing with this haunting. Small fires would randomly happen.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Random places. And apparently before they moved in, someone saw like a little fire in the nursery, but they went and like nothing was burned. It was fine or whatever.
Yeah.
But like Tony would catch fire. Tony, doesn't he still catches fire to this day sometimes.
Yeah.
And they don't live in the house anymore.
Spontaneously combust? Like, what do you mean by that?
No, like a fire on the shirt.
Yeah.
Or something, and it never burns him.
Yeah.
Like, it never physically harms him too much. That's the thing, is it's weird fire. And the way he described it is like if you've ever seen a blowtorch, it was like kind of like looking like that.
Yeah.
But just like a fire, and then like you put it out, and sometimes it destroys things. They said that it destroyed a pacifier, one of their son's pacifiers, caught fire. While the sightings crew was there, a rose. Deb noticed when they were doing like an interview out in the yard, a rose she had sitting in the window was blackened, like it had been on fire. And here's the weird thing about all these things. She said, like, especially with the rose, she said it looked like something had taken the flower apart piece by piece, burned around all the edges of the things, of the petals, and put it back together. It was that kind of weird, like the fire was coming from within the flower. Which doesn't happen with flowers normally.
Very cinematic, though. You're not kidding.
Right.
It's very cinematic. I like this.
That's what it's saying. Like, yeah, it's again this. I was gonna say this is kind of. I think you're good. This is gonna be your bag a little bit.
Yeah, I like this.
Okay, so yeah, Scotty always prints every day. Right. That's why William's always waiting with a bucket of water when you walk in the room.
Always
douses you. What was it again? Like, yeah, no, everything, like even the pacifier, most of the things that caught fire, it was like they caught fire in weird places, or it looked like it came from within.
Yeah, there was a mop doll that they had in the nursery that just randomly started smoldering, and they looked after they put it out, and it looked like someone had taken a match to the underside of its neck.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't
Under the
engulfed in flames.
Oh wow.
It just had a little burn spot on the back.
I'm liking
Just
this.
A bunch of random stuff, you know.
See, what freaks me out is the promise of other things that you've told me about this. Like y'all said,
buddy.
we've got
Well, we're not
pictures and we
done.
got. I know we're not done. I know.
we tell him-
I feel like we're 25% there, and it's already pretty creepy.
Should we tell him about the
this
bite
is-
mark?
Oh yeah, you tell that
bite
one. You tell that one.
mark?
I didn't write that one down.
What the
Because that was
hell?
another
Yeah.
thing. See, this is all stuff where, like, you know, he's trying to convince Deb. He's trying to convince her.
So yet again, Deborah's taking another shower because
Mm-hmm.
she likes to be clean.
I don't blame.
And
Remember?
Tony is taking another nap on the couch because he's working the night shift.
Tony
at
loves
his
to
job.
nap. Yeah,
What?
yeah.
I don't know. He does love to nap. But he's a sleepy guy, which is why he kind of
Good for him.
thought
though.
that he was hallucinating at first when all
Of
of this
course.
started happening. But he's taking a nap on the couch, and all of a sudden he's woken up by this super sharp pain on the back of his thigh, like right underneath his butt cheek. It is how he describes it. I don't know why that's a place to get bitten. But he like goes upstairs, gets Deb out of the shower, and shows her a line of teeth that's
Oh.
still like marking his thigh.
Bite mark.
Wow.
Yeah, and he
Bit him
says,
on the butt.
yeah, she
Like
bit
an
me.
indention, like an indention.
Oh
Whoa.
yeah,
Mhm.
he
Very
said she
clear
bit
bite
me.
marks.
She
Yep.
bit me.
And Deb laughs because
yeah.
she didn't believe him.
Oh,
Well, the
no.
way she described it too is like he comes in and just drops trow, like right there. Like,
Yeah.
look. Which is funny in of itself, but it's like he said, yeah, he's like something bit me. Like what happened? Like it's just like, but to see like then the teeth marks, human teeth marks. What? What is this? So the first time Tony actually saw an apparition, they haven't seen anything yet. But don't worry, they're gonna see some stuff.
When did they see
So
some-
I'm gonna light some incense. Give me one
Please
light,
do.
light that incense, baby.
Please.
Hug that Obi.
Smudge, whatever
Listen,
you
if
can
y'all need a break to hug your furry animals, go ahead. Take a little
No,
break.
I'm good.
Hug
I'm
your
gonna light
furry
some
animals.
I'll keep it going because once we're on this forward momentum, I will have to go pee at some point. But once
There
we're
you
on this forward momentum, we gotta keep it going. because
We gotta keep it going. Listen. So the
I'm-
first
I'm
time he saw
super
an
invested.
the first time he saw this one of the apparitions, the first time he saw a ghost, because again he was talking like, you know, he didn't want to believe in ghosts, he didn't really believe in ghosts and everything. That's the other thing, is a lot of times when this stuff happens to people who are like not super into it, that's when you know there's something to this. So
Always.
first time Tony saw an actual apparition, he had come home from work one morning and went to the kitchen and poured himself a glass of juice. He said it was about 7:30, 7 in the morning when
Yeah.
he got home from work. So he goes to the kitchen, he pours himself some juice.
Yeah.
And you can just imagine, this is cinematic too. He turns around with the juice, right? We turn around with the juice, standing in front of the basement door.
Mm-hmm.
He saw a little girl.
Nice. Nice.
It didn't really click with him at first what was happening.
Yeah.
Tony said he thought, man, this little girl's dressed funny.
Oh,
Like it didn't.
my
His brain wasn't
God.
like connecting. He's like
Nice.
what? First of all, why is a little girl in your house? No, it's like, the man just got home from work. It's 7 in the morning. Like, why is this little girl dressed so funny?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently she was wearing a white dress that looked like it was from the late 1800s to early 1900s. Again,
Jesus Christ.
He's not
And he
here
said
right
she
now.
She just stood there staring at him, not moving, staring. That's another thing with these like a lot of apparitions and stuff. It's like usually it's there and it barely moves. It's almost like a 3D
Yeah.
picture.
It's waiting for you. It's waiting for you to move.
It
too.
wants you to
It's-
see.
Yeah.
That's what it wants. Okay, she was staring at him, and according to Tony, this makes it worse. Her eyes were open extremely wide, as if she was frightened, like he was the ghost. So
Well,
just a
that's
still girl, like
an astral plane, right? Like they
Yeah.
they both
Mhm.
exist on the same
here,
realm.
I'll look into all your souls.
Yeah.
Like anyway, yeah, it looked
Beautiful
like she
eyes,
was
Gerry.
like looking. Yeah, thank you.
That was creepy,
Anyway.
Gerry.
Thank you. Anyway,
He said, Austin said, just call the Ghostbusters fam. It's simple, kiddo. That's right, bud. That's right, bud.
And back then, they probably could have answered. I don't know if they made house calls all the way to Kansas, but whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
No connected Stranger Things. It's like it is a little parallel. It's a little bit.
A little bit.
So she just stood there staring at him, eyes extremely wide, as if she was scared. Tony finally realized. He finally realized he could see the door right through her. Oh. He could see the door through, right?
He's translucent.
And that's when he goes, oh no. Translucent. This
another one of these transparent kids get in here.
You're gonna need more incense. Let's just say.
They keep child-proofing the house, but they keep getting in.
So he realizes this. This is where he goes full Scooby-Doo, like the feet and like getting out of there.
Drops the juice.
On this realization, he dropped the juice on the floor and ran upstairs and tried to tell Deb again what he saw.
Okay.
And she didn't believe him again for a long time, even after the stuffed animal encounter.
Yeah.
Which I think this was after the stuffed animal encounter.
It was,
right?
yes.
I believe.
Yeah, and at this point, he's also seeing like a doppelganger of Deb walking around in the upstairs.
In old clothes.
Dressed like an maid.
No.
So
way.
So okay, he saw the little girl twice. He said. So these are all the things. He saw the little girl twice. He also saw this woman who had the face of Deb, but was dressed in these old clothes. No, I'm not.
Yeah, and she's basically ignoring him, just going by.
She just so he's in the bathroom. He's in the bathroom, door open. This lady walks by. He thinks it's Deb. Like, why is she dressed so funny? Doesn't pay him any attention. And he saw her a few times, right? Because he said, I don't think it was this time. He said one time he followed her, just got out because he was like, Deb, were you just in the hall? And she just, again, this woman's just out of the shower, like sopping wet, barely even dressed. Like, no, like
Deb lives in the
most
shower.
Sexy horror movie ever. It's like he's taking naps, she's in the shower all the time. Like it's classic slasher.
It's like a Tommy Wiseau movie. They're just like doing human things.
It's staring me apart, Deborah.
So he actually follows this doppelganger, first of all, can we talk about how creepy doppelgangers are? Seeing a version of someone that's not them, or a version of yourself that there's this whole story we can talk about some other time. There was like a teacher who worked at like an all-girls school who people would constantly see another version of her.
Yeah.
At the same time in the same place. But she would never see it, and it freaked people out too much. She ended up like leaving or whatever, or they fired her. Like they fired her because you're too creepy. You're too creepy. Anyway, he follows this doppelganger. It turns, goes into a room. He goes into the room. No one's there. Completely gone. Which is what you think. That's what you would think would happen.
Scotty's 1,000-yard stare is just adorable right now.
We're about to crank this up to number 11, bitch.
This is what I'm excited for, because I do, and I mean this genuinely. Like small things like that is like, okay, yeah, those are all freaky things, but definitely when it comes to like, I like when it gets to like the it gets to the big explosion.
Yeah. This is one of the first action set pieces.
Okay,
basically,
so
if this is an Avengers movie, this is like the
TV
first big
scene
fight.
in Poltergeist. This is like the first contact moment, or is this like when is this
the
like
Black
when
Maw fight
in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where like a old boy encounters the UFO on the railroad tracks? Is that like this level of like
a little bit?
I'm getting chills.
Okay. More like when the UFO's at the kid's house and he opens the door.
He's abducting the little kid, Benny, or whatever the kid's name is.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, I love
well,
that
so
movie.
before we get to that, though, so he started to hear Tony. So this is all ramping up. He started to hear scratching in the walls by his head when he would try to lay down in bed. It would be right by his head. Just imagine.
I'm not imagining
you hear that?
You sick man. That's awful.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Everything about this, and it's all Tony. It's all Tony.
I gotta say a rosary tonight. You're messing me up. Lord.
Later, it would be followed by Tony's words, unintelligible loud whispering.
I hate Jerry so
You
much.
hear in everything.
Yeah.
You hear this in everything. It's in
Yeah.
all the things. This is in freaking Ghostbusters.
They're speaking Sith.
Exactly. It is in the
Right.
last. It's in Frost.
Whenever I'm afraid, I always imagine I'm a Ghostbuster, and nothing is unghostbusterable.
We're watching
Anyway.
the Phantom Menace after this, by the way. So you
got it.
This is
You
what
got
you're
it.
doing.
You just convinced me to stay.
Okay.
Sorry.
And now we come to what we like to call bedroom experience number 1.
You never
Boom!
forget your first, baby.
This is the airport fight in Civil War right here.
Yeah.
Is what this one is. So bedroom experience number 1. I'm going to try to read this word for word here. Again, Boop, feel free to comment. Scotty, feel free to comment. Tony was trying to sleep in the master bedroom when he started to hear the scratching again, followed by the whispering. So he was looking towards the end of the bed at the window, and I figure this is probably since he's working like night shift and everything. He's watching the end of the bed, just kind of looking towards, there was like a window directly across from the foot of the bed, like the other wall opposite.
Yeah.
Of all that, if that makes sense. So as he's watching, he saw what looked like dust.
You don't have to.
I'm going to read it. Listen, we have to read it. So as he's watching this window, William, he said he started what looked like when he said, when you see dust kind of swirling in the sunlight.
Yeah.
And everything. He said he started to see kind of like dust, like kind of swirling like that. But as he watched, the particles got darker, more dense, and swirled around, then moved towards the bed. As it reached the foot of the bed,
Yep.
it began to take the form of an older woman. This older woman was clad all in black. She had a brooch around her neck. So this is old school.
Yeah, this is old school.
And he said she didn't so much walk as float. Like, it was like she was walking, but like, no. So imagine just, that's creepy. Just someone at floor level just moving so smoothly.
Maybe she's standing on a
thank
Roomba.
you. Yeah, she was like, listen, yeah. And again, this is 1993. So I'm sorry, kids. I'm sorry, William. No Roombas, no hoverboards, no nothing like that.
Father Jerry Martin. It's one of the priests at our school.
Get your. I was gonna say that.
Now, gang.
Like
Okay, that's all he speaks. Sorry. Now, gang.
So she didn't so much walk as she walked so much as she floated towards Tony. According to Tony, by this point, it seemed like World War III was going on in the bedroom. Now, they had 2 side tables on each side of the bed that for each of them.
And
they
a
had
water
little
bed.
drawers in them. They had the little drawers, like the one single drawer in the small table.
Oh, God.
Like nightstands. Both of these side tables, the drawers were opening and shutting over and over again. This is Ghostbusters level shit.
It is.
This is Ghostbusters level. So that's what I was like. This is like goo.
This is like Close Encounters whenever like the vents are opening and
I'm
things are
telling you,
like
yeah.
the record starts on the record player. Yeah, this is good.
Let's see. They had a water bed at the time, which my parents had a water bed back in the 90s too.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
because it was the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't know that was really kind of stupid.
It was
Bad for
it
your
was
back.
huge. I mean, honestly, I would take a water bed right now, even though it's like horrible for lumbar support.
Yeah,
just
it's really
fun
bad.
to go like. Woo.
Uh-huh.
According to Tony, they had a water bed at the time, which was rolling like the seas, as if someone was jumping and bouncing up and down. Tony was like popping up and down, like so he's going up and down. The drawers are like,
And there's a ghoul lady.
and like the lady's like.
There's a lady ghoul.
A lady in black who formed from dust particles Okay. Oh, it only gets better. So the top. Okay, so they had a tall boy dresser, I guess, at the foot of the bed as well. Which I don't really know exactly what that is. But
like a
exactly what kind of dresser? Yeah, but apparently the top of this dresser, lifted up and did a full circle and slammed back down.
And it's a dresser, so it's not light.
It's a dresser. Well, like it's the top of a dresser. That's got to be heavy.
Yeah.
So the top of whatever this dresser that comes off and like circles and boom, slams down.
That's why you dust kiddos.
She got closer to him. Tony found when she got close to him, Tony found he couldn't scream.
Oh,
he couldn't make any noise.
I've had one experience of sleep paralysis, and those are awful.
And if this is that, I think he could move, right, or something. But I don't know, like it could be sleep paralysis.
God.
But this is a hell of a sleep paralysis dream. I've had it before. I don't know if anyone's had this much activity as sleep paralysis dream.
Nope.
She got closer to him. He found he couldn't scream. She reached for his throat and shouted, "I'm gonna!" When she shouted, he said this black bird landed on her hand that was reaching for him. Then she disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
He slid out of bed, probably like jelly. He said he was like trying to crawl towards the door, and he kept trying to shout for Deb, but it was coming out more. And Deb said she didn't hear any of this. She barely heard him. She heard like a raspy, like, Deb. Slid out of the bed, landed on all fours, couldn't scream. Finally, Deb opened the door and was like, "What?" It's just like, again, we talk about cinematic. Like, you have like, what are you talking about? Like, after all of that just happened to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. So, and that's the end of that. Like that's so we're good. We're good, kids. But now, so we have sightings kind of gets involved and everything. Yeah. I think before even sightings gets involved, he starts getting the scratches, right, Boop?
Yeah. This is right before, sightings crew. They call them in.
Yeah.
Tony starts getting like a burning sensation on his lower back. Sometimes it's really intense. Sometimes it's, really quick.
No!
But every single
These are
time...
actual photos.
No!
These are actually from the sightings episodes. There are multiple episodes. You can find 55 minutes of everything they did.
No.
But anyway, I'm sorry, but please continue.
You're fine. And it's almost always 3 scratches down his back. It's 2 straight lines and then 1 curving.
No.
And if you're someone who's into spooky stuff like we are, the number 3 comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Because it is a mockery of the Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Which is, again, people start to go demonic, but again, there's something else to this, it feels.
Yeah. Let's appreciate Tony's abs for a second.
Yeah, Tony was ripped. Again, this is like horror movie.
This is all mid-90s. This is all mid-90s.
This is all mid-90s horror movie. Like, seriously, this is like a slasher flick. 2 like hard-bodied co-eds in a house with a baby.
No.
Yeah.
Basically. Nope. No, and again, they are both very attractive people back in the day. I haven't seen recent pictures, but anyway. Yeah, so he's got these scratches. So if you notice the one on the left over here the first one has an MC, it looks like an MC.
Yeah, it does.
Right? The initials of the man who built the house was MC.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
MC Finney.
So, MC Finney. So all of this, again, most of these scratches, a lot of scratches happened when the sightings crew was there. Well, it was happening the whole time there. And they had people checking him every time he went in the bathroom and came out.
Mm-hmm.
Checking him head to toe. They had parapsychologists. They had all kinds of experts and everything coming there. And let's see. My notes go right to. Hold on here. Let me see.
Could this be a bathroom break real quick for me personally? Can I do that?
Oh, well, honestly, yeah. Listen, if you want to do a little bit of bathroom break, we'll take a little pause here because that was we did a big jump there.
It's a big moment.
We did a big jump. We did a big moment there with the old lady.
It only gets worse. It only gets worse, right?
It gets so much worse, dude.
Okay, cool.
It gets so much worse.
We'll play. I'll let y'all just talk. I'll be back in just 2 seconds. Let me just go.
All right.
I can't hear you because I don't have my wireless in, so I'm gonna.
Good.
Y'all can freak other people out just for a second or hype up what's gonna come next. I'll be back in like 1 minute.
Yeah.
We'll see him in a little bit there. No, listen, kids. This is only gonna get worse from here on out. You know what? I'm going to play a little bit of Andy Warhol eating a cheeseburger until Scotty gets back. And I might actually message Boop so we can kind of like coordinate a little bit here. But anyway, have fun, kids.
Doesn't come out.
I'm back.
So
sorry, I'm good.
Welcome everyone. No, you're fine. I was gonna try to do the solo layout there, but no. Okay. So I hope you had a good bathroom break there. I hope you enjoyed those of you who didn't go for a bathroom break. Yeah, go out in your backyard, run around, come back in. Actually, you know, some of you might not want to go outside. I don't know. Really, I love you, William. I love you.
Hey,
It's
watching a
only gonna get
movie
better.
like Nope or Close Encounters, like one of those ones, all I could do was look up the entire time. Like, let's see, anything over me. This is one of those ones where this is obviously this freaks me out.
How are you feeling? Yeah.
But like I said, I can obviously I walked around my house and I felt no negative sensation of you know, something's around the corner. Which what comes next may make me feel that way, but at the same exact time, like I still, like you said, it's just nice because it's contained to a place. You know, you're not telling me when you think this will show up or this will happen.
Right.
Like,
well, this isn't. It's not common to have something this intense.
No, it's not, and that's what makes
it's more
it
common to have honestly, it's more common to hear some footsteps or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Not even that.
Yeah.
Like barely. Yeah. Like Annabelle in Boop's room there.
Yeah.
She's right there. But
anyway, so
her behave herself.
This if she doesn't behave herself, I mean, you guys are going to be the first ones to see. Okay,
I'm gonna let Yelena know if she doesn't behave herself.
Yeah, right. But no, so just to kind of get back into things, so the sightings crew was coming, and they kept coming back. And this was a big crew. Like,
so this was
one of the big shows back in the 90s.
documented as it was happening for the most part.
You can watch.
That's cool.
You can go and watch this 55-minute thing.
Is it on
and
YouTube?
I would recommend it in the daytime.
Oh,
yes,
that's cool.
I will actually listen. I will post a link on my Twitter. Okay.
Yeah.
So after the show, go check that. You can watch this if you're interested to like kind of dive in and see. Again, they give them like pseudonyms at the beginning, like they were calling them like Jeff and something else.
Yeah.
But then they came back so often that they were just finally like, no, you can
Here's
show
our
our
real
faces and
names.
everything.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
whatever. They were afraid of getting ridiculed, but they said like it's been going on long enough. Like, you know,
shit's
we're
real,
fine.
yeah.
No one's saying anything. So, okay. So Les Smith, again, the owner of the house, he's owned this whole time through all of this, still owns the house. He's a retired police officer.
Yeah.
I think at the time he was probably still working. I'm not sure how old the gentleman is. But he had this story that he told again. So Astonishing Legends, Forrest and Scott Philbrook. Which, it's just fortuitous that his name is Scott.
Yeah, isn't it?
But yeah, so they're talking to Mr. Les, and he was one of those like Scotty, you know, like this is one of those like very straightforward like Southern gentlemen who's yeah, no, I just went over there and no, I just did this. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like he dispelled kind of stuff like, you know, there's like apparently a woman afterwards painted a pentagram on the floor of the basement, and people were like, oh, they found a cauldron and they found this and that.
Yeah.
He said, no, there wasn't nothing like that.
No, pentagram was afterwards.
There's a hole in the wall too, where they say like a lot of the activity comes from in the basement.
Yeah.
And people were saying, oh, he saw black and charred hands coming from that. And he's no, if
Yeah.
I saw something like that, I'd never go back. But he did have has had experiences. Said, someone like he was joking with one of his buddies making ghost noises. And the ladder, he was on a ladder. They were painting something in the house. The ladder got knocked out from underneath him, and he fell and he got hurt. And he got pissed. He thought it was his buddy, and then he's like, he was in like another room.
Oh wow!
So it was anyway. But another really cool experience that this guy had, or honestly, a chilling one. So he was in the house the day before the sightings crew was going to come, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if Tony and them were there. They must have been at work or whatever. And he goes, well, so that crew's coming here tomorrow. If y'all don't want that crew coming, I'm going to leave my number here. He wrote his number on a piece of paper, left it on the kitchen table. Said, yeah, so if you don't want them to come here tomorrow, if you're not happy about it, ring my phone and just ring it twice. So
He said this to the ghoul.
He said this to whatever's there.
The entity.
And went home. The day the crew showed up at 10 a.m. at Les's house, his phone rang once, then twice, no third ring. He didn't even think of it that time, though. He was like, okay, whatever, I guess they hung up. A few minutes later, the phone rang once, and then twice. And there was a pause, but he picked up the phone. Said all he heard was static.
Ooh. It's like Will Byers.
Just static.
Yeah.
Just static. Yeah, like the
yeah
thing, except there was no mom. It was just he hung up the phone really quick and said that was the last time I ever did anything. Because that was enough for me. Big old, those guys are like big old tough, like, I never, all that kind of thin blue line stuff. Like that. But yeah, anyway. And I think we joked, but I didn't. Was it you that I told that he sounds like a sentient thin blue line sticker?
Yes. He sounds like he has a mustache that takes up 3/4 of his face.
He does. All those words are coming out through bristles.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, he looks like one of those, like a big blue whale. you know, with, like,
yeah.
brush teeth, but it's like on his face. Anyway, and again, I haven't seen this, man. So there was that. Honestly, they document a lot with the sightings crew. It's a bunch of scratches and everything. They catch some of the things. They don't catch things that are on fire.
Yeah.
Like catching on fire. In fact, it's weird. They were in one of the times, not the first time, the second or third time they came there. They brought a couple of psychics with them a few times. The second time I think they came there, they were coming out of the nursery and they had just stopped filming. And Tony's back, like the back of his shirt just catches fire, and the cameraman just turned the camera off.
Yeah.
Goes, Tony, you're back. Like, you know, kind of, or it's just off camera. Oh, sorry. It's just off camera, I think, because he actually gave away his identity. Apparently, you can hear it in the actual video. They're still calling him Jeff, and you hear Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's off camera, so you can't see.
And these things, you know, from what I've read, kind of like UFOs and aliens are aware that a video is being taken or a photo is being taken, and they're in complete control. You know, I've always believed that like these things are fourth dimensional beings, which means they can see from all angles, they can understand from all perspectives, and like they know what's happening on a spiritual realm. Like that's on a physical realm, you know.
Well, yeah, and I mean we can get into theories and stuff here in a little bit, but like there was a like I like the Grand Unified theory a little bit because all this stuff tends to happen around the same area, like ghosts, cryptids, UFOs, all of it. And I mean, it's just again, like you're saying, a lot of it is like they want you to see it. And there's a podcaster that I know Boop and I listen to, Henry Zabrowski. Says it's almost like it's like we complete a circuit with it when we see it, because it almost like it like knows what you're thinking sometimes, especially with UFOs, kind of a thing. But anyway, it's strange, it's weird. But I don't really have anything except for if you have anything to share before we move on to bedroom experience number 2, which isn't as long, but it's a little crazier, and we have a visual aid to go with that one.
Which again, we will give a warning before we show it because it is that intense. Yeah, I think it's at this time that Tony starts to have very visceral dreams, very intense, vivid dreams.
Bringing this up, yes.
Yeah, of Deb specifically. While this whole thing is going on, like we said earlier, she's not believing him as much, you know, as he would like. So that kind of causes some tension between them. Tony starts having very vivid dreams of slitting her throat. He has dreams of throttling her in her sleep while she's sleeping right next to him. And he's having these aggressive feelings, you know, living in the same house as your wife.
Yeah.
It's incredibly intense.
He wasn't feeling before.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Like I think they even say like they had a great marriage. They still have a great marriage. They're still together. It's awesome.
They sounded so adorable on the phone together.
They were so cute.
Absolutely. Like, he goes, like he starts talking when she starts talking. He goes, "Oh, sorry, I love you."
Yeah.
So cute.
Even said I felt like a different person.
This entity was driving a wedge in its own way.
She tells a story in the interview that we listened to about there was one night where Tony is kind of having a fitful sleep. She's right next to him awake. And Tony just sits straight up, says, "He's mine," and falls back asleep.
Katie does that kind of shit too, though. I'm not gonna lie. She does.
I do too, honestly.
The other night, she literally.
My roommates in college swore that I one night, like they woke up and I was going. Like,
literally, the other night, I come to bed really late because I couldn't go to sleep, and Katie literally goes, "I don't like you," and turns over, and I was like, I
love Katie so much.
I had some stuff go down last week. I'm like, I don't need you tell me you don't like me and you're dead sleep, asshole. Anyway, keep it going.
Oh, I hope he's still here.
Anyway, let's hear it.
And she was saying that it felt like because she was believing him by that time, I think. But it
Yeah.
felt
Yeah.
like the spirit saying, "He's mine."
Yeah, like he's
Yeah.
oh okay, yeah.
He's mine.
Yeah.
Like stay away, bitch. It's mine. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I've got
Um,
a soul.
I think it's at this point where he starts noticing a difference between when he's at the house versus
Oh,
when he's
geez,
at work.
wow. Yeah,
away.
yeah. How he feels,
When
yeah.
you've got that much of a difference, it's like it. And again, it's very Stranger Things kind of a thing, you know.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
this place-
Exactly.
And again, this is where you start to see Stranger Things takes influence from things that happen in the real world.
Yeah, yeah.
Real life experiences that people, because then this is not, I don't think this is like, I've heard of other people feeling like having these intense feelings of like
Yeah.
violence that they've never had in their lives.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got some kind of negative energy in a certain place, and all it does is just like it feeds off of your energy and probably just like puts that in your mind just so
Yeah.
it can like get whatever emotion or whatever it seems like
Yeah.
that's almost what it's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a leech essentially.
Yeah. I think we're ready for bedroom number 2.
Are we ready?
So there's
Are
more
we-
than one.
are we ready?
So it's 1, 2. Is there a third one too?
No, it's
No,
just these
just
2.
two.
These are the
This
noticeable
one-
ones.
Now this isn't the most.
Well,
Is this the worst encounter? Or is there one after this that kind of like?
I
'Cause
would
usually,
say this,
like Boop says, things come in threes, and that's a matter of life, and that's also a matter of encounters. Like that's why they call it a counter of the third kind. You've got
if
contact
you consider
is the
him
third
seeing
kind.
the doppelganger walking around, like
That's
the
true.
third, like
That would be
Yeah.
a
it's not
third.
in the bed, but again, he had a lot of things happened to him while he's sleeping.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we're not
It's
even at
just
the last straw yet.
Yeah.
two very noticeable ones, and this is the last thing I have in my notes before we go into kind of like what's going on now with them
Mhm.
and everything like that. So I don't. Again, if you have anything else to add after this,
Good luck.
maybe I don't know. No, listen. They didn't seem like the ganja type, and I don't mean that
No.
mean.
No.
Like the very sweet people from church who are actually good people and stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Very sweet couple who loves each other. Which honestly, anyway,
We're not in
So-
therapy.
yeah. So now we move on to bedroom experience number 2.
My chest
Yes.
is tight, by the way.
Take a deep breath.
Y'all are doing a great job.
This one is shorter. And I don't know, like it. I'm gonna try to make this as cinematic as I can, but honestly, it speaks for itself.
Do you want to see me
claims that-
react? Do you want to see my face chat? Let me know. I'll put my
Yes,
back
Probably
on.
wouldn't be a bad idea.
So one time, Scott, he says that the little girl came to him while he was in the bed.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
so he's in bed. The little girl came, and she was like trying to get him like to look at her to come like closer or whatever like, and he kept pulling away from her like so it's somehow she's like, I don't know exactly, I can't remember exactly what he was saying. It was like she's like come here, like the little girl.
Uh-huh.
The third time he pulls away,
No. What was the third time?
the third time he pulled away, she grabbed his arm, let out a horrendous growl, and transformed into a creature Tony has trouble describing to this day.
Oh.
And here's his description. It was on all fours, hunched and rotting.
Oh shit!
And he recalled seeing worms moving in it.
Oh!
Don't
This
forget to
thing
give the
grabbed
3, 2,
him,
1.
and then I didn't write down
Look
how
who's
it
here.
ended. Hey, sorry about your.
Keep going. Sorry.
It's a good thing we're not talking about
Sorry,
Star
you
Wars.
lost your Twitter. That's funny. Like the monster did show up. Look at that. No, I'm just kidding. So I didn't write down how it ended, but it just went away. Like
Oh
it just
my
like it
god!
So when he pulled away that third time, it grabs him. The little girl grabs him, growls, and transforms into
Creature.
staying on all fours, hunched and rotting, with worms moving inside of it. And he actually made a sculpture of this thing.
Mhm. Don't forget to give the 3, 2, 1.
Here's a warning.
Remember to
Here's a
like
warning.
and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Oh no,
Play that.
Jay, why?
Viewer discretion advised.
Shit. Oh! Look at that! No! Get that off my screen. Get that off my screen.
Look how
I mean it.
cartoony the eye is, though.
I know, but get that off my screen.
It's got pastrami in its mouth.
No!
That's what the little girl turned into. So you said Vecna? That's Vecna.
Go!
Vecna, buddy.
That's
Do it
real
again.
That's Jimmy
life.
Campbell Bower
Show me
in there.
again. Show me again. Show me again.
That's real
Ready?
life Vecna.
Show me. Yeah. See it again. Let's see it
So
again.
look. What'll help you is look how cartoony the eye looks. The
Oh,
one
that
eye
ain't
that it
helping.
does have.
That makes it worse. It's like pulsating. Ah! This dude made a sculpture. Wow.
I
That's
just
kind of
noticed,
cool
dude,
looking.
look at its feet. Its feet are like red or
Its
whatever.
tongue is like sticking out. Oh no.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
And is this in the same exact spot he saw it, or is this just a
Mhm.
sculpture?
That's just a sculpture.
Of course,
he,
my
like, made this
ring
later.
My ring's like there's motion at your front.
Oh, there's
man.
hunched and rotting movement at your front door.
Yep.
Real quick, while we have the thing down here, here's actually a shot of the here as a chaser. Here's
Oh.
actually the nursery. Those people are there's you can find so
Did
many
they-
pictures.
Do they set up those dolls that way, or is that
Yes.
what? Okay, so they
Yes,
set up just
you
to
can
simulate
find
it.
So many pictures of people setting up dolls in the most cinematic ways. When again, the real thing is just 3 dolls in a cult circle.
Yeah.
like getting ready to drink their Kool-Aid.
Oh,
But that's the last picture we have.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
Hey, Jeff.
I hung out with
Hey,
Jeff
Jeff.
last week. Everyone's
Hell
saying
nah.
hell no, hell
Hunched
no.
and
Nope.
Rotting is a great band name. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my God!
Jeff,
That-
did you see the
show-
monster? Do you want
show
to see the
monster
monster?
again? Show the
Jeff.
monster again.
So, okay, let me real quick. Let me real
Recap
quick.
it.
If you didn't hear it, so we've been talking about the haunting at the Pickmans at this Sallie house in Atchison, Kansas. Tony, the father, was getting all of this shit, and they thought it was a little girl. So Tony claims he was. Let's see, the little girl came to him the side of his bed, and the little girl was trying to like reach out to him or whatever, and he kept pulling away because he was scared. The third time he pulls away, the little girl grabbed his arm, let out a horrendous growl, and transformed into a creature Tony has trouble describing to this day. It was on all fours.
I show a
It
picture.
was on all fours, hunched and rotting, and he recalled seeing worms moving inside.
And this is the
And
picture.
He
Here we
made
go.
a sculpture of it. Here we go. Ah! Get it off! Get it off!
It's a freaking
No,
nerd.
there's the monster. There's the monster. Right there.
Oh
Right there.
my God! That's
that
badass
something?
looking. That is
After
badass
you see
looking.
it though, like it's the initial, and man, I got a good jump scare with you. Man. That was great,
Cool.
wasn't it? But yeah, there's that. So
William-
was there possibly, and there was a couple of psychics that they've had come to this place,
Oh my
and they've
God.
talked about. Well, for one thing, the one psychic that came with sightings said he kept seeing the little girl, Sallie, and everything. Like he saw her at the window, looking out the window as he got there at the top, top of the stairs. Saw her at the top of the stairs, all that kind of stuff. It does. It looks like the Cook Dogs and Ghostbusters. Yes.
Right.
But
J-Dub.
anyway, like looks like it's that sculpture looks like it was made out of boogers. Like honestly, but the way he
Kinda.
describes it, it just sounds like this is a booger monster from hell.
I agree, Austin. It would be an incredible jump scare. So
Listen,
this is
again,
this is
needs to be a
instant
movie.
bedroom or two. This is still not the thing that caused them to be like, "I fam."
Well, no. There's so they eventually did move out.
Of course,
But-
but there was no incident that caused them to just
Well,
leave.
there was one last thing.
Christ. Is this the last
There
thing?
is-
Are we getting to the last
there is
section?
one thing.
Or
There
no? Is
one
there still
thing.
some build up?
Well, we've got a little bit of we'll follow up with them of what kind of happens. You know,
Yeah.
when people leave the house.
Now these documentarians
Yeah.
are coming as these events happen, or were these all isolated events? And
This
then
was
they
in the
called
middle.
Yeah.
They come right in the middle towards the end, and then I think they're there once they actually leave.
Do you think there's any? And now this is just playing devil's advocate. Do you think there's any possibility that there was some exaggeration to any of this stuff? Because, I mean, I'm honest. I know y'all are into this, but you also know that there's people that fake this stuff. You know, yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Well, and that's with sightings, and that's something that Scott and Forrest talk about, because Scott Philbrook's wife is actually in TV production and knows what goes into these kind of shows.
Okay.
And the host of the show actually went out there, like the Robert Stack of this show, went out there the second time they went. The host never goes. He says, so that's when you know people are like coming back going, because they back then too, you go there, you see like maybe the people are put up some wires, and like you've like, okay, they did fake this. You still show the thing on TV, and then you're like, what are we gonna do? We found out it was fake afterwards. We've got all this footage. They didn't find that at this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they kept saying it's so they said it probably was people coming back going like, this, you won't believe this shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
It made the host actually go, because again, the host is like, I stand here and host, I talk about the stuff all creepy like, and then I go home, I get my check, whatever. This guy actually wanted to go see it for himself and was very skeptical going. He actually saw a scratch form on Tony's face, or someone saw a scratch forming on Tony's forehead as he was talking to him.
That's like it's like
they have 8 minutes of video, raw footage of a scratch forming on his stomach. They put a little bit of it in the show.
That's
but
like,
they didn't want to do the full 8 minutes.
That's like this is like Scar Island or Scar Moon Scar Island from Scooby Doo.
Oh yes,
Scooby
Doo. Yeah, exactly.
The scratch appears in the door, you know, because it's a ghost pirate.
Right. Exactly.
That's
what it is.
Jean
Ghost
Real
pirate,
reference.
just slightly scratching his face with a sword.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm liking this.
So,
I'm getting the chills. I'm enjoying it,
so,
guys. This is awesome.
I don't know. Boop, would you like to tell this part?
Yeah.
I can't
First,
wait.
Scotty, where's your cat?
I got two. I don't know where they're at.
Oh, okay, that's probably a good thing.
Okay, why?
So,
warning.
There is violence against animals coming up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all.
Okay, good.
No. Scotty kicks his cats all the time.
It's true. So Tony's having these very aggressive feelings. He's having these, as I said, vivid nightmares of committing violent acts against his wife specifically and his son.
Yes.
Who is, I think, at least a year at this point. So kind of one of the final straws for Tony is, so he kind of blacks out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But before that happens, he is annoyed with, one of their cats jumping up on the counter, which cats do all the time. They get on stuff that they're not supposed to, but he's getting really, really angry.
Agitated.
Yeah. He blacks out.
Yeah.
And then when he kind of comes to, he's at his brother's house, who's, just lives up down the street.
Sure, still, yeah.
Yeah. He comes back home, and the cat is stabbed to the countertop with a butcher's knife.
Oh, no! Whoa!
And he does not remember doing it. There was nobody else in the house that could have done it.
To his knowledge.
It
almost feels like it sounds like missing time the way he describes it, because he
Yes.
didn't think he blacked out. Oh, it's stabbed to the
So
table.
it's not
dead.
like its arm is just like caught between
no, he's been gone for hours.
Blood everywhere, like bleeding out kind of stuff. Not for me.
That was
like, hey Brian, welcome to the stream.
Damn.
Hey Brian, we're talking about scary stuff. Want to see the monster?
No.
I'm just kidding. I won't show it again.
Here we go. Here's a picture of the monster.
Oh, whiskers. Hey, one-eyed monster. Anyway, wow, I feel bad. So is there possibly they got out again, like they have all of these, like there was another psychic that went there and said that a lot of stuff centers in the like in the basement, said it felt like there were human spirits, like a woman and a child. But it was almost that they were getting pulled down, like they couldn't escape by something.
Oh.
right? So that's again. So this people want to throw around demonic, whatever. No one really gets possessed.
No.
This is, to me, it doesn't ring true of a demonic encounter.
No.
This is something else, which honestly is something a little more intangible and scary. It's a little more Lovecraftian. It's
I agree.
Unknowable. It's the something that can have power over you that you don't know what it is. It's not human.
Yeah.
But it can impersonate them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
And
almost
that-
scarier. It's weird.
That
It's
is very scary.
Yeah.
Right? It's again very Ghostbusters, very, very horror movie. Again, get Mike Flanagan on this. Like, seriously, you can have a Hill House, like 10 episode Netflix series of this. This is my pitch, Netflix. This is my pitch. Come to the river and pray. But is there possibly a dark entity keeping the spirits of deceased people in this house? Because I thought you guys left for a second.
I thought about it, but no.
Well, yeah. But something interesting too. So they don't live in the house anymore. But to this day, if a group is touring or investigating at the house, and they are antagonistic to the spirits there or whatever is there, Tony and his family will experience an uptick in activity wherever they are.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever they are. And again, I said it doesn't follow you, right? It doesn't leave. But I am also saying, Scotty, don't go there. If you don't
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
You have to go to Kansas.
I kind of want to go.
Of course you do.
Of course we
bastard.
would.
Me and Boop will go.
We're both sick.
But
going
no,
to
anything from he'll still catch fire on the couch. He caught fire on the couch one time.
Yep.
Said that one time after someone was antagonistic, a knife came flying rapidly out of the kitchen through the dining room.
Yeah.
Across his chest, cut his shirt, and barely cut his
The
chest.
skin.
Just grazed his chest.
Where's Obi? Obi.
Yeah. So very, very violent. Let me see. Humming. Okay, so the director of tourism who runs this kind of thing, who books the tours and everything, said that humming can be heard in the house.
Yeah.
And that crying, they get lots of reports of, she's heard this, lots of reports of crying coming from the attic.
Oh, God.
That's bad.
That's
That's
bad.
Like if you,
Yes.
like in the above you,
Yeah.
just put on a fan and
Sleep.
maybe turn on the TV. Just go to bed, babe. Just go to bed. You're fine.
Go to night.
Deal with it in the morning. Also, the master closet has had many reports of people having a layered feeling, a heavy layered feeling.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
And I was telling Boop last night or today or something, I think you've experienced something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I've had one experience with something.
We only had it happen once, me and Katie in the dorm one time, where we were she read a scary Native American story and she couldn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
And that night we felt like there was a weird air in the room where it's something is within and without and around you. It's kind of wild. But anyway, let's get. You promised me an audio recording.
Well,
Yeah.
we did. But yeah, so
Fair
listen.
warning.
Listen, fair warning and all this. Go ahead. Please please describe. I'll get it pulled up here. I'm just looking at my notes.
Is there anything else to this? I mean, I didn't know if there's anything after the freaky dog thing or the
Real
cat
quick before
blackout.
before we that. So there is they do talk, and again, it doesn't leave the house and go to people who haven't been there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But people who have been there, a lot of people talk about how they feel drawn back, like an overwhelming sense. Tony, to this day, still has a neat, a longing, that he doesn't want. He has a strange pull to go back, come back.
He's woken up on the front lawn before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. You said that was after they moved out, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They lived in town.
He was sleepwalking one night and he woke up on the front lawn of the Sallie house.
Nope.
So and I think they live way far away from it
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
Obviously.
I think they're in a different part of the state now.
I think they're over more towards Missouri because they said that they were doing like stuff over there in a town I'd heard of before, like ghost hunting and stuff. They're with a Missouri-based paranormal team now.
Oh,
Paranormal
I think they're in
investigation
Kansas City.
Is it Kansas City?
Missouri.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
Yep.
But anyway, no. So I mean, honestly, that's it. And before we play the audio recording,
I will grab Obi.
What I'll say is
I don't handle that kind of thing well.
Probably a good idea.
I'm gonna do that.
This is gonna be rough.
I'll be right back.
Go for it. But no, something that has been said that I love. Or remove him. Get him out of there. He's gonna be fine. Y'all are gonna be fine. But no. One thing that I found was interesting today, watching through the sighting stuff, and I can't remember where it's from exactly, but there someone, the parapsychologist or someone, did say, and this is a good way to end this and go into this.
Yeah,
our nighttime is their daytime.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Wait, say that again. So
our
for
night
the spirits.
Yeah, that's when they're more active and everything like that. But also, with this house, in the case of the Sallie house, it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it happens all the time.
Yeah,
and so it's just constant activity.
So what is this? What we're about to listen to? This is the part that people are going to leave.
So
I can almost guarantee you, because it's so weird. Like you hear these things, you hear these stories, and if a family friend was telling me this, it'd be, wow, this is terrifying. Don't leave, But like when you hear it from as a someone who's not involved in the situation at all, and you're hearing the story as like a there's like a third account of what's happening from different perspectives. When anyone brings in any sort of evidence, right? Like it's always, I don't know, it's worse. It's where that's where you go.
Like
okay,
you
maybe
said, because it happened not that long ago, which the 90s were a long time ago.
Yeah,
but it
wasn't.
makes it closer to the modern world.
Yes. Because we live in
there shouldn't be things like this in the modern world.
No, well, we think there's so much surveillance that we have now that you can't.
We're so safe.
Why haven't we caught these things? When we can. It
doesn't want to be caught; it wants to be seen.
Exactly.
Yes, I get that,
and that's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And people giving them an opportunity to be seen or to be heard. In this case, opens up a door.
Sometimes,
right.
Yeah. Yep.
So this recording is from the podcast. It's from the second episode of this podcast. They built this thing up for the first episode is 3 hours.
Yeah.
The second is like 2 hours, and it ends with this.
Oh my God.
They built it up so much. We've built it up even.
Yeah.
So this is not ours. This belongs to Scott and Forrest. Yes.
I've heard about this for like 3 weeks now when you first pitched this idea to me. This is the one part I've been not looking forward to.
And again, it's about to be over. It's fine.
That's right.
This is the last thing.
Now, so again, this is property of them. I just want to make sure that's known. Like we're giving them all the credit. Again, go check out Astonishing Legends. They're fantastic. If you're into any of this shit, they are very thorough.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's good. It's fine, babies. But anyway, they went to this house. They went to like the Amelia Earhart Festival because they did like an episode on Amelia Earhart and where she was, and they've kind of helped. I think kind of like shed some light on some of that for Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
But anyway, and they're like, we'll just stop by here and do a quick little afternoon thing. So what you're about to hear, Scott had like one of these. It's like an old recorder that's really expensive now. It was made like in the late 90s, early 2000s or something. But this recorder specifically is really good at picking up this kind of stuff.
Is it like a micro tape or is it like,
It's just,
I think it's digital.
It's
digital. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is digital, but
because sometimes these things like analog technology more than they like digital because there's a tangibility to it.
This is a weird exception. This recorder, and in fact, a lot of people sent these back because they're not working. We're getting a lot of other voices and stuff on these things.
Oh my God.
Right?
Nope.
Which you can say radio, whatever.
You put that headphone back on.
But what you're about to listen to is not necessarily radio, and this is when you hear EVPs. I joked at the beginning. It's always like cream mushroom soup. Did you hear cream of mushroom soup? Oh yeah, I heard cream of mushroom soup. Yeah. Like Zach Baggins and all those bullshitters. Anyway, here And I'm going to play it's got a little bit of their audio at the beginning, and then it goes right into it. And
how long is
the recorder?
this?
He sets the recorder. It's about a minute. He sets the recorder in the was it the nursery, right?
It was the nursery. On the table in the nursery.
Yeah. He set it in the nursery and kind of set it up. And you know what? Here we go. I'm not going to make you wait any longer.
18. The room was empty for 5 minutes and captured nearly 2 minutes of something unknown in voice activation mode.
Okay. File 10. I'm putting this down. I'm going to leave this here for about 5 minutes. If there's anything you want to say, any message you would like to share with the world, leave it on this recorder, and we will share it. Leaving now, closing the door. No one else is in this room at this time.
Not Bombad.
How you feel, buddy?
Not Bombad.
So if you remember, if you heard, they said that was voice activation mode.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm going to leave it here. He said he went downstairs for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He sets it down, and as soon as you hear him leave the room, immediately, Garbage Monster starts yelling. So they checked. They don't think it's radio.
Yeah.
And again, so the man who got this, Scott Philbrook, is a father. Had his son with him, actually. His son ended up waiting out in the car. He went out there, so it shook him to his core. It shook him to his core.
It's almost time, buddy.
I don't know. That's one of the most terrifying things I've ever heard. Like, again, you usually hear it's like, hello.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
It was an audible. I didn't hear a word. I don't know if it's me, but I didn't hear.
I don't think it's any words. I think it's just. It sounds like either pained or angry screaming.
Yeah, it sounds like pure rage.
Imagine that sound coming out of the little girl before it turns into the monster.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Kind of thing. But also to kind of lighten the mood. Imagine it also kind of sounds like Squidward being angry and grumpy about SpongeBob.
It reminds me. I've got friends that make like avant-garde music, and like they truly like that's what they enjoy doing. And honestly, a lot of the vocals in their songs kind of sound like that. You know what I mean? Like I remember being in and then this is also something that we can all speak to as well. Like there would be nights like when you're growing up and you would like freak yourself out and like. You would make those kind of noises every night. Like me and my buddy Chase would stay up really late.
Brian.
Yeah. My buddy Chase and I would stay up late and we would make music. And we'd also like in our weird way channel some weird like we'd read Revelations and like try to make a song about the book of Revelations and like the songs
man.
The songs like
amazing.
Feeling the song felt like that, right? Anything that's like I don't know, ominous. I'm trying to rationalize this. Like that's a very intense audio. I will say like I won't
Yes,
forget
very
when
intense.
hearing that. You know, I bet y'all were tripping when you heard that. I'm a freaked out, but like that was
the beginning. So I heard it at work. I was on the line.
I don't want to hear it again. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to hear it again.
It's fine. It's fine. I was the same way. In fact, I was like
I'm getting rid of it on the stream.
I was so shook. I was shaking, like picking up the glass on the conveyor belt and everything. Like I was like, oh my God. When I had to find this again and pull this out for this episode, I told Boop this. It was broad daylight when I got home from work mid-afternoon. Sunshine, people mowing their yards. I threw open my my balcony door.
Yeah.
All the windows open, all the lights turned on, and I backed up against the door frame of that so I could like
screen record it,
listen to it, and watch and make sure nothing was coming for me.
Yeah.
And it was better, honestly.
Yeah.
And honestly, now listening to it, it's not that bad for me anymore. But it still is very chilling though.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't have the initial rush of adrenaline, like because you're expecting like, what is this?
Or like hello, or like like an actual
hello,
message.
I'm a ghost.
Like
whispers.
Would you like to have coffee?
It's so much more unsettling that it wasn't a message per se. It was just
the message was get the hell out of my house.
That's what it was. I don't know.
Or come here so I can feed on you.
That was a great finale to this whole conversation. That was intense. I really enjoyed that. That was that's like one of those things like
good night, everybody.
Yeah, no, like you want to rationalize if it's real or not. You want to take a second and it's like there's something. It's William. It's not bad. It's horrible. This is horrible. I mean, look.
Yeah, no, this ain't. They ain't gonna come out and sing a song for you. No, not these guys.
No.
Not this thing.
I've always seen like they go to like insane asylums and they get like chicken noodle soup. Like they get those things, but like that. Wow.
Again, you hear stories of things from other places and everything, but just the sheer amount of video and audio evidence, and people get they have crates and crates of audio recordings. The guy who owns the place, like people send me their recordings all the time. He's like, I don't listen to them though.
No,
it's like, I don't want to listen to that.
Also, it's
never
like,
go back in the house.
Like it makes my ears like my ear feels like tickly now. But it's for like it's like only digital noises can be that unsettling. Like even on like and y'all know this because we grew up in this era, but like a tape recorder could never make that noise because like an analog tape like warbles, where that was like an actual digital crackle, which is even more unsettling because like that that's like when, and y'all know this too, like when music peaks, right? And like all the sound kind of like fuzzes out a little bit. That's exactly what that was. That was like just a digital recording going haywire. Like if for those that don't even remember, when CDs used to skip, they would do weird stuff like that, like and like stutter. That was equivalent. Man, that was cool.
It was very right. But again, like so a voice recorder that was on voice activation. It's anyway. Listen, I don't have to keep driving the nail in. I guess it's fine. It is what it is. But it's just imagine people though. Again, like people, these DR60s things, what they're called. Imagine people taking them back, going, "Oh yes, I want to bring this back because every time I try to record like notes,
there's all
for
kinds
this
of noise.
Every time I write, every time I'm trying to take notes, dictation, and everything. When I play it back, it sounds like someone's getting burned alive.
Yeah.
And I was like, the flames! I don't want it anymore.
Man, that was
sell it on the internet for $500 later on,
This makes me question my existence. Can I get a receipt?
Yeah, literally.
Man, I'm a Christian and I don't want this anymore.
I like this.
But
this
anyway.
is good. This was really good. It built very well to this. I will. I'm not saying I'll have a.
Do you have any speculation on anything that you want to do or any of that? Or are you done?
I'm done for the most part, but I will say like I'm a very spiritual person. Like whenever I'm done this evening, I will use my and I'm not joking. I have a chakra. Like I'll show you. Hold on. A chakra bowl, or like a meditation bowl. Hold on.
It doesn't go anywhere near the nether regions, does it? Is this that kind of chakra?
I don't think it's supposed to. You shouldn't shove crystals up your butt.
No, don't shove. No, kids. Not unless it's got a bigger.
I'll be doing a good bit of. This laying in bed tonight, and just.
Well, like stuff like that does help. Like imagining yourself in light and stuff like that. Like there is the thing about this. Like you can argue whether there's actual good, actual evil.
Yeah.
The thing I keep coming to, no matter how dark the darkness is, good is always, I feel like, a stronger, more positive. It's
like
it feels like a stronger force.
Let's tie it back to Star Wars real quick. If that was in a Star Wars,
dark side.
that would be horrifying. Like that,
they've done some almost the stuff. Some of the stuff in the Ochia Bastoon book, I forget the name of it right now, but that felt very Shadows of the Sith. That felt like very much like this kind of stuff, very, very creepy, very otherworldly.
Yeah, but this is like they could easily pull this off in a movie. Not the same. We're putting a recorder down, but someone has a dark side vision and that's all you hear. That would be so unsettling. And as a fan of Star Wars, that would almost make you go, "Oh my god!" We've never considered the dark side to be this, empty and evil sounding. That was cool. That was wow.
So you enjoyed it more than you thought you would, I guess.
Well, I only enjoyed it because I am fascinated with those kind of things captured, right? But to hear it I was genuinely thinking it was going to be get out of my house, but it was far worse than that.
Oh yeah,
that's right. You want it to be
almost, you almost want it to be.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
the one lady says at the beginning.
You almost want it to be that, but when it's not that, you're like, oh, I got chills talking about it. I'm not so much freaked out.
It's worse that it's not something. It's intelligent, but it's not human.
Yeah,
exactly.
It doesn't seem intelligent, but it is. But it. I don't know. It's anyway. It's
cool.
strange.
It's like a kid having a temper tantrum.
A little bit, right? A little bit, right? Man, look at. I have rosary videos. Wait, what did William say? Oh, I have
whatever y'all got to do. Whatever y'all got to do. It's all good. But
hey.
yeah, no.
I'm probably gonna light some incense right in front of Annabelle's case right after this.
I have it. It's like
I'm gonna grab one of my nice candles, scented candles.
There you go.
You know what it reminded me of too, and this is something that we can all, if we've seen the movie, y'all know my favorite movie is 2001, right? And whenever they approach the monolith, it's that dissonant, like that. There you go.
I haven't actually seen it, but I know
God,
what you're talking about. I know
that is.
They make fun of that on SpongeBob.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
It's like again, just talking about that movie. That audio is a lot like how you feel whenever you watch that scene. You're like, oh my god,
yes.
what? I have the stat. I have the figure right here.
It's ethereal.
Oh my god, it's so well done. That was cool. This is a fantastic episode. This is one of those ones that I won't forget. All of Bombad I don't forget, but this in particular, wow.
That was
second worst episode according to William.
That's right. We are gonna watch we're gonna watch Phantom Menace after this, just so we can loosey goosey a little bit.
You gotta have your chaser after you have the straight whiskey. Okay, you gotta have your chaser, and it's fine.
How do y'all come down from this? Because look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't do this often. I don't psych myself out. I'll watch unsettling things. Like my other favorite movie is Contagion. And I'll watch Contagion and that movie deeply because we lived through that at this point now. I don't know if I can watch the movie again because I think Eric and I watched it a month before the COVID happened, January of 2020. Right. And we live through that now. And that movie is one of those ones that are super unsettling. And I could come down from a movie because I know a lot of it's fabricated, but also it can be real. But how do you two come down from this? Because a lot of y'all, I know Gerry for a while, I know for a fact, when we were starting Bombad and you and Allison were starting to split, this was kind of your outlet for the longest time. How do you come down from that? Then I'll ask Boop because I'm very curious. Why do y'all enjoy this so much? Because I couldn't do this. I can only do this once a year, and I mean that genuinely. I don't think I can do this as frequently as you two both do it. And I know y'all have interest in actually doing something creative in this realm too. But how do you come down from this, Gerry? For real?
Well, no, Boop, please answer. Because,
oh God. Yeah. Well, to answer the other question, what what made you interested in this stuff? Like I've always had like a pretty pedestrian interest in the strange and unusual. I was a weird, heavily medicated kid, so I needed something to occupy my time.
Sure.
So like I picked up a lot of books on demonology and the occult, without my parents knowing. My older brother is a really big horror fan, and he showed me movies that I wasn't supposed to see. And yeah, that kind of sparked an interest. And it wasn't until I was a little bit older, I was about 7 or 8 years old, when I had my first experience.
Yeah.
Which I will tell that story.
Not right now.
Not right now.
The month.
At the end of the month. And that kind of set off a like, oh, this isn't just stories. This stuff is real, and I should probably be careful with this. And then I proceeded to grow into an adult who has a Hasbro Ouija board on a kitchen table.
Yeah.
2 feet away. And a scale model of the Annabelle case on a table just a few feet away. I don't know. Like, I guess it's become such a part of my daily life. Like, I will just watch videos of hauntings. I'll watch BuzzFeed Unsolved or their new show Ghost Files, and I'll watch it and be like, oh, this is really fascinating. Like, I love to see the science behind all of this stuff.
Yeah, there is definite science. I agree.
Yeah. And then I'll like go to sleep watching creepypastas and stuff like that because it's really soothing. I don't think I ever come down.
I can't even do that.
So there's like
there's
a Joseph Campbell concept that I strictly live by, that what you do ritualistically is how you spiritually understand yourself and how you get yourself in a zone. And it's something that I've learned to kind of gravitate towards. Like something as small as a morning routine is a spiritual experience because it's something that you do to prepare yourself mentally for whatever it is. And I always felt that routines or something, I have a deep fascination with routines and what people do when they wake up and what they do. And I don't express that often enough, but I always found how people prepare for things very interesting and what they do to understand and take in things. But the reason I bring all that up is your outlet for comfort and your outlet for what you want to experience on a deeper level is this, right? It is, you know, like some people turn off their phone when they watch a movie. That you want to have a one-on-one experience. And I feel like you living in this state is you living in a spiritual experience, because it's out of yourself. You know, it's not necessarily something that most people do, but it's also something that you do on a routine like schedule. It's beautiful. I love it.
You can call me a freak to my face. It's fine.
No, but that's the thing. You're not a freak because obviously, and I've known you for almost 3 years now, Boop. Like you're uniquely yourself for that reason. And like I mean, you see me, I get in my little. You see my Twitter is almost a spiritual experience too, because it's the absurdity. But like what I'm saying is, I admire you for
announce you. Tonight.
You never leave. You don't leave this headspace. Not only does it bring you comfort, but it also it's deeply interesting to you, and I love. That. I love that genuinely.
It's one of those things like the podcast that we listen to a lot of the time. Last podcast on the left.
Yeah.
One of their signing off notes is "Hail yourself."
Yeah.
And that's kind of something that I've adopted as a like, you know what? I will help myself.
Yeah.
I will like become a cult. I will like
if that's
respect
your thing.
These things deeply.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what you learn to love yourself. Kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's very much that's a very much, and I haven't seen there's actually a documentary that one of those guys made called Hail Yourself America or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, no,
Well,
absolutely.
Gerry,
I'm with you there, because like they do a whole thing is like hail Satan, hail, Geen, hail
Hail
yourself.
me.
Yeah.
Hail me. Yeah.
But
it's all about empowerment.
Because you come in and out of it, but that's kind of your personality. You hyperfocus, which is what your show's all about.
Right.
How do you come out of this? Because Boop apparently doesn't. Boop's an animal, but like,
scripted.
It's also always kind of there for me. Well, you can go ahead and finish your question though. If you
No,
had
well, all
any
the
more
question
to
was
that,
how do you come down from these thoughts and feelings? Because some people, Boop finds comfort in it. I find absolute discomfort, but in a good way. It's not like I'm getting, it's not like I'm experiencing a waking nightmare having this happen. But I am going on. I'm on the fringe, on the edge of things I never normally would discuss or experience with people, and I'm doing it live for your entertainment. In all seriousness, how do you come down from maybe freaking yourself out or wanting to stray away from anything like this? Do you, or do you kind of relish in it?
I mean, I think there's always kind of a baseline. Like I like this Sightings show, like it was happening back in '93 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I saw reruns of Sightings when I got a little older, because I was 6 years old when
this
stuff happened. So obviously I wasn't watching it then, but I remember on Sci-Fi Channel, that's what I was watching as a kid. Like, like I want to see this weird stuff. And again, I grew up very religious, things like that. Like all of us grew up fairly religious. And so for a long time, a lot of that kind of stuff when I was more religious, I think I had a little bit more of I was taught to be very fearful, even though you're taught to, you're like, oh, it's no, the good is better than the bad. So don't fear, but also be really freaking afraid. Cause I grew up right towards the tail end. I was born during, was it the Satanic Panic?
Yeah.
The 90s was fraught with Satanic Panic. Yeah. And so like it's a little bit of trauma, frankly.
Yeah.
And again, we've come to this side where like so many people's lives have been ruined by that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But it's just always been kind of an interest to me. I've always loved science fiction, things like that.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters has always been one of my things.
Yeah.
Right. Since I was a young babe. Like I've always loved, my parents apparently took me in
Ghostbusters
1989. In 1989, my parents took 3-year-old me to watch Ghostbusters 2 because, quote my mother, I asked her recently, well, your cousin Joey really liked it. This guy graduated high school when I was like fucking 6. Like, come on. Well, he said Joey and Ashley really liked it, so we took you to see it. And like, parents didn't. The 80s were a crazy place, kids.
No.
It was a hell of a drug.
PG-13 movies had boobs in them, which is pretty wild.
Insanity.
Yeah. Weird science.
So.
The first set of boobs I ever saw. My dad was watching on HBO. I'm not kidding. My dad was watching HBO, and what's her face? Like they showed her body getting made in Weird Science, and they revealed it like when it like came out the thing, and she's just like bare-breasted. And I think you saw Bush too, and I was like, what? I was. The movie said PG-13. And in the 80s, I mean, you can almost get away with that. Like, and I get that.
That's why I'm into ufology and all this spiritual stuff is the boobs. I'm in it for the boobs.
But no, I agree.
Danny Elfman's Bush.
I completely, like, it's weird, right?
Revealed
what you strayed away from or what freaked you out as a kid is one of those things that kind of come back to you as an adult. Like, I like Boop. Cryptids, and Jerry and I have talked about cryptids too. Do y'all remember that amazing show on, I think it was History, back in like 2007, 2008 of Monster Hunters? And they would go, oh my God, the Chupacabra episode, I can still see the image in my head. I would stay up till like 2 a.m. with my dog Mario, and I would lay on, because I used to, my thing was, I would sleep in my bed all throughout the school week, and on the weekends, it's the couch. I thought it was so much fun. You know what I mean? You're a little kid. Dude. And like, sleep on the couch, no one's around you. You're not in your comfort of your room. And I would stay up watching Monster Hunter. And there was like the Chupacabra episode with like the teeth marks and the goat's neck, the other dogs that got bit. And like, I remember like, I'm getting chills, freaking myself out because, that's the kind of thing that I guess that I wasn't allowed to really watch normally. And I would really, divulge in it. And it's funny because as an adult, I'm more of a believer, and maybe we could talk about this for another day, but like, I'm way more believer of like beings or organisms that have not been charted yet, only because this world is so vast and it's in its way. Right. I don't know.
I mean, listen, we haven't even begun to get the breadth of the bottom of the ocean and stuff like that.
Yeah. I teach that to my kids every year.
Now that's a thought to be scared of.
Oh yeah. I just told my students that this week. I straight up said, we know more about the surface of the moon and Mars combined than we know about the actual entirety of the ocean. And like
damn nature, you scary.
That's one of those things. Like lassophobia is a real thing where you're scared of deep water, and I only had that experience once. We went to the Blue Hole in Belize, and like the Blue Hole is a real, because it was what it was a cave that sunk in a perfect circle essentially, and like we got to swim because it's like there's an edge and then there's just a pit, and like I have never experienced, and like I loved it because I was like, this is something you don't do, often at all. Ever, if anything, most people don't get to experience this. So Katie was like, I'm not looking down, and all I wanted to do was go under, and we were just snorkeling, and I looked down and all I saw was a pit, and I'm like, this is so unsettling. Like this is so
Crazy.
like deep and immense. I don't know. I think I think it's part of human nature though, and like what we did tonight is it's fun flirting with that edge. Some people live on the edge. Some people never go to the edge. I think, Gerry, you're that one in the middle. Boop's the one that's always on the edge, if not in the darkness. I'm the once a year. Like this, I got my fill in. I'm straight.
Yeah.
We're good now.
I filled it in quota. Yeah, I mean, I lean more towards that side now than I ever have in my life. Again, now that I've got to, the key to all this is giving up religion. That's what it is. I'm just kidding.
Don't say that.
I'm joking. I'm joking. That's how you can not be scared of anything. Because
I agree. No, I agree.
But no, this kind of stuff it helps you feel alive a little bit.
I agree. It makes it
makes things a lot more interesting too,
and less mundane. I agree. Right. I agree.
And again, I'm just fascinated. And again, some people, I've had experiences. Boof has had experiences, and when you have an experience, you either go headlong into it,
or
even
you
more,
stray away. Yeah, it's done.
or you're like pretend it didn't happen. And I had saw something with my ex-wife.
Yeah.
She was from then on like, don't want to talk about it. We saw another one like a week or two later, and she goes, nope, just ignore it. Just ignore it. To me, we were driving, and it's just different people,
Yeah, it is.
That's all it is.
And sometimes that brings people together, and it's a wonderful friendship formed.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like right here. I'm glad we did this. I really am. I don't get in my creepy feelings often, but this is what I needed. This is one of those things like it's like a little it's a
open
reset.
it up.
It's a reset that I think people, I think it's like, Gerry, you said it perfectly. It's a lot like a roller coaster where it's
the
gonna
adrenaline
end.
rush.
It's not something that's truly going to affect you, like you said, unless you welcome it in. And I will not be welcoming this feeling in.
Well, listen, this thing, you got to go to this house for it to follow you or do anything to. So just don't go. If you don't want anything to do with it, don't go to the Sallie house in Atchison, Kansas. I know the address and everything too.
Kansas.
So I won't tell you.
Or Kansas, Dorothy.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
I want to say one thing before we close this show out, just real quick. Thank you too, because y'all brought an amazing episode. 2 hours and 20 minutes. We haven't done Bombad this long in a minute. I think since Adam Frazier was on for Kenobi finale. So this was this is a long episode. It's been a minute since we've done a long one, and I'm glad
jam packed. Too.
I love when Kay's around, but Kay's also the one that's like, we need to go to sleep, and I don't blame her. This is the first time in a while where I'm like, I can actually this is awesome. This was good. Thank y'all. Y'all took your time with it. I was hooked the entire. I think the chat. I know this wasn't it's so funny.
We
it's
had
like
quite a few.
We had a few. Then it went down. The second shit got real, and then like what Austin was saying earlier is so funny. Austin was like, "Oh yeah, more people are definitely bouncing out right now," and like it went down to like 3 people. I mean, because some people don't want to have.
But they came back. They came back.
They came back. You can see they came back. Nick. We even have Brian, Austin. Yeah, people came back. William. So why did I do this? I agree. I have to teach tomorrow, bud. I gotta teach, kiddo. I gotta teach.
Well, listen, we need to let you get your sleep and all that kind of stuff.
Plug next week. Plug next week because next week. Our penultimate October experience. One of our favorite things we do. I love what we do on this next week coming up.
Yes, so we've got our yearly tradition along with Beyond Bombad. We do our Star Wars creepypasta special, where you can write a Star Wars creepypasta and send it in, and it can be, you can make it scary, you can make it funny, you can make it in universe, you can make it about the fandom, you can make it in the real world about weird things, like say that, like those weird creepypastas about how there's an episode of every Nickelodeon cartoon where someone kills themselves,
Yeah.
apparently. But anyway, make sure it's not like too bad. But no, listen, we need to fill the internet with Star Wars themed creepypasta because there's a lack of it.
And I'm excited to announce.
Give us those stories. Give us those stories.
This is something else too. William was the first to do it. I'll pull it up on the stream right now. But if you go to staybombad.com, which is the site that William helped us build,
website.
we are going to, hopefully when I have some time this week, I can show you. If not this week, then I plan on doing it definitely by the time October is over. Let me show you this. You can actually go to the site right now and you can actually read William's creepypasta from last year. Look, so you can go under articles.
There we go.
Go into articles and you can click on the articles written, and this is Williams from last year, and you can read his creepypasta. So if you want to have it published on our site, it is there. So it's a good one.
I forgot that it was Black Eyed theme because we talked about the Black Eyed.
Yes,
Oh my
yes. So
man.
Williams already written
That's
the
going to be
second
Booger
one.
Monster themed.
It's Booger Monster thing, and I love it. Includes Eric, it includes everybody. It's a fantastic little I guess little read through. So I'm excited for y'all to hear it. It's gonna be great, and
It's
obviously
gonna be
y'all.
Well, sorry, I was going to say send us your
y'all,
stories.
y'all have heard this one.
Send them.
We want to hear some more of yours. Mine was about Rick McCallum last year and how he was a scary monster to a mouse. So it all worked out pretty good. But I'm sure Boop will send their regards. But I don't know what happened. Maybe it finally got her.
Well, I don't know
it's
if I'll have to find out if Annabelle got them or not.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being respectful. Oh, they're back. Oh no! Bring them in. Bring them in.
There you go. Oh, you're muted. That's on purpose.
Oh yeah.
My mic died.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
So, but everything's fine.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, Boop,
Okay,
anything
with that,
any
Annabelle
last minute
got you
things
for a second.
you want to say?
Dang, I do have a whole podcast, don't I? And I can't remember anything. So I'm from the Nerd Herder podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Nerd Herdercast. This week we are going tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow.
We're going to be going live at 9 p.m. Yes, something like that.
Yeah.
Just feel it in the ether when we go live, and you'll know. We're going live to talk about the lore of the Friday the 13th series.
Oh, cool.
One of my favorite horror
I
franchises.
watched that video that you guys post. That was really fun. Yeah.
Good.
I've never seen any Friday the 13th movies.
I've only seen the first one.
I've
only seen the first one.
24 hours.
That's all you're gonna do. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Boop will give you their the digital collection. You'll be fine.
Very
Good.
true. Yeah, that's tomorrow, and then I'm gonna be back here eventually.
Yep.
I always come back.
Always come back.
You always come back. Yeah.
Live
true.
in person.
Boop.
At my
Boop's gonna be
wedding.
hanging out. Yeah. I mean, for spooky season especially. But yeah, no. So we've got that next week, and then when Scotty's away again, Boop and Gerry will play, and we're going to be giving a little bit of our creepy experiences, our weird experiences that we've had, like right before All Hallows Eve. So be there for that.
Just find a bag of corn in the woods. Something else happened too.
Yeah, different things, awakenings, some might say. So.
Whoa, Father, the sleeper has awakened. I can't wait for Dune 2. I want to show this for William. This is one little clip to lighten the mood before we leave. William Gregory Hardy. He said right here, I need inspiration. Well, here you go. Thanks, Dave. You're the inspiration of my life. Y'all, I'm going to do it tonight since I got freaked out so bad. Here we go.
it.
You ready?
You've earned it.
I'm going to do my best. Here we go. I'm going to put... Wait. Hey, Google, turn off the office lights.
Oh. Brave of you, boy.
I'm going to put the microphone down. I'm going to let you have your say to the world. If you have any messages, you can say it right here on screen. All right, here we go.
Did you say impossible? Pasquale? Only kidding, Chucky. I've changed my tune because I finally thought of a possible dream that we can all share. What is it?
Pasquale?
It's a dream about a world when nobody is poor or sick or hungry.
Oh, now that's a dream we can make come true.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right.
As I point up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind.
I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top,
And a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. And that's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer.
If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
come on, change. No message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
Time for us to take a break, but we wouldn't dream of being gone for long. See you in a little bit.
You lost to me in trivia. Loser, baby boy, whiny gray Jedi boy, loser.